to an explosion of employment in all districts of our country.
To the Constitution. If it comes to the Constitution, we are in a position to tell it. What the Electoral Commission is doing is in accordance with the Constitution. There's nothing wrong about it at all. To the Constitution. If it comes to the Constitution, we are in a position to tell it. What the Electoral Commission is doing is in accordance with the Constitution. There's nothing wrong about it at all.
And tell me whether it's true or false on the lying bit. I shall protect the public purse. True or false? I am too old to steal your money. I already have my own money. True or false? Yet is castle, Mr. Comde. True or false? Try me and see. True or false? I am not corrupt and will never be corrupt. True or false? I can develop Ghana without borrowing. The money is here. True or false? I will transform Ghana in 18 months. True or false? I will not operate a family and friends government. True or false? I will fight corruption with the Anas principle. True or false? I will make the Kole Lagoon and Odo River tourist sites. True or false? I will build a factory in every district. True or false? I will give each constituency $1 million every year. True or false? I will arrest the dollar. True or false? The hikes in fuel prices will be a thing of the past. True or false? I will make Accra the cleanest city in the whole of Africa. True or false? I will build 111 district hospitals in 18 months. True or false? I will build 350 new secondary schools from scratch. True or false? We will never go to the IMF for bailout again. True or false? This is from the president.
What has happened? If monies which should not be paid have been paid, 12 million is not small money, my sister. It's not small money. And we are taxing people. In fact, we are moving the country from taxation to robbery instead of to production that we were promised. Now we are robbing everybody. Even your money that you are using to pay them, they tax you on it. So this is robbery. We are robbing people and use it this way. I can't get it.
This country called Ghana and all the resources we have. Now, government doesn't even see anywhere to tax. They are taxing our electricity also. Tomorrow, they will tax our water. And we are not going to sit down for that to continue. That's why I'm saying you are going to have baptism of fire. We need to fight it until this thing is cancelled. And that is the immediate thing. How can you add this to the problems that we have in this country? The lifeline they are talking about is just 30 kWh. 30. It used to be 50. They brought it down to 30. And if you have 2 light bulbs in your house, 2, and you have television, and if you leave the television on for more than 5 hours, you will pay this tax. If you have fridge, you are out. You are going to pay the tax on the fridge. Why should this happen in this country? Tomorrow, if we don't resist this, tomorrow they will come and tax water. They will say there's a lifeline. This lifeline that they are talking about is 2 bulbs. Part of television, maybe half television. And if you switch on your fridge, you will pay this VAT. This law was passed in 2013. Why is it that all these governments have not implemented it? Why is it that we are allowing IMF to dictate to us to implement this law now? So, comrades, you have been elected at a time that there's a big fight on our hands. And we are going to fight it until we win.
It even tells you how weak the minister's understanding of his position is. If what I did was illegitimate, why don't you take the right action? He's going to report me to the minister as if he's a teacher and the president is a master, and I'm a school prefect, and I've done something wrong. I mean, what kind of silliness is this? I mean, I don't even want to comment on that. That he reported me to the president. For the president to do what?
Call you to order.
The president is a lawyer. The president is a lawyer. And he knows that lawyers are supposed to what? To protect the legitimate business of their clients. So why would the president call me on a matter like this? Why would he even go to the president to complain? Because it's not as if he was going to say that when he got the soldiers to freeze or stop the people from working, I went to give a counter instructions to the soldiers. And the soldiers, ignored his and took mine. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You're calling him, asking questions, snooping around. Isn't that interference, Gabi?
No, but really, isn't it what you do?
My job is to snoop around, get information, and all that.
And my job is not to protect the right of my client.
I think he see. I can't speak for him, but you think the issue to do with Gabi as a person, not as a lawyer.
But I'm saying that when I called him, and he is in his report, I told him that I'm a lawyer for the company. If they have all the permits issued legitimately by the state entities that are supposed to issue the permits and licenses, if they are working, then you, the minister, you have no right to interfere. But that's what he did.
Yeah, but he found out.
What he did is rather what I saw to be interference.
And Shamram and CA, your DC or this area, your regional minister or area, your lands commission or area, your forest your forest commission or area, and Unti Ashamram. Miss Ragana for Madam Pamochow, one bro, and and Chirimano swabro. Na political party be ba was what the Magalam say a coso. Ukawaya, we are buffo, we are mamboni. Political party be say, Messi Galam say, I'm Masua. Medimaconia bato ho, Galam say, I'm a coso, a dear and wire, and yan some, a niberia. Na me kano Ghana Christopher Edorson mama ya ni mriye nya ye na ehwe so mbeja na politicians bia ni area ni constituency ni bia Ghana say the people should reject him. Party be authority this I'm saying the party should be rejected. Party chairman, party secretaries, party sponsors, maguya ni masi. You have become a disgrace and a disaster to this nation. We should think about the people. We should think about the posterity. My heart is burning. We should change. And the corruption, almighty corruption, politicians, ya bremu, sansuna media, ya bremu, yenina software, sorry ma. Yeah, we should change and repent and have a different attitude and make Ghana better for the next generation. And Shabutuam and Shamram and CA, your DC or this area, your regional minister or area, your lands commission or area, your forest your forest commission or area, and Unti Ashamram, Miss Ragana for Madam Pamochow, one bro. Any and Chirimano swabro. Na political party be ba was what the Magalam say a coso. Ukawaya, we are buffo, we are mamboni. Political party be say, Messi Galam say, I'm Masua. Medimaconia bato ho, Galam say, I'm a coso, a dear and wire. And yan some, a niberia. Na me cano Ghana Christopher Edorson, Mumaya Nimriya ye. Na ehwe so mbeja na politicians bia ni area ni constituency ni bia Ghana say the people should reject him. Party be authority this I'm saying the party should be rejected. Party chairman, party secretaries, party sponsors, maguya ni masi.
School we beba ha no. Me na me di insangu form. Asana school we ba ha. Be 5 years ni ana 6 years ni school no ba ha no. School fe we ejramwa eni kusie eni akoko ena omuko school wa ha nipa anko school Ajamwa, any Kusie, any Preko, any Omkoskua. Mimpeo. This year, me pese umbe bieskunu mame. Echi ekram gu ewurem ho. A mu ya nipa. Yes, school fe we. You know, mu ko school. Ka chere mu say, me school we this year, say mo ma me plan o. Enya de me plan da. Enti mi srem.
Omo ambe ya e na obe ya.
Yes, umbe fa school no ko. Umbe pa jako. Na mi fa asase no kwa omuntu amika. Omuntu amika o. Umbe fa school no ko. Mi srem mi ni abre papa fi no meet me ka papa enti mi srem mi pesa agram wa be ko school wo mi sase no su mi penipa niko ne as ekura no a mi wo no eye ekura kese ma mi
have abandoned the road projects that we came to have. It's difficult.
How about the e-blocks?
Many of them. I think I'll find an opportunity to send you that. Many of them are being worked on across the country.
Let me just take one, Mr. President. The one in Aflao where the chief himself has complained. Aflao Pache say e-block no oba yenya hoshi. Inti my education minister up to February say ombe yehu bibi. It's on the set.
Minister. Ultimatum.
Energy sector, the current power cuts. Some people are saying that you made mention of this. You use this as a campaign against John Mahama, and now we are experiencing a worse situation under President Akufo-Addo. Would it reflect in the 2024 election? Would it be something that people will stand on to vote?
If you are comparing 4 years, MPP administration, energy sector is 300 times better than John Mahama.
But we are still experiencing doom so.
Nobody has said we haven't. I'm just saying it's far much better than John Mahama ever did.
You do admit that there's doom so.
That is the word you used. I have never used that word. I've promised you that we are going to work on it. And it's not a work that is a single event. It's a process. And we'll continue to work on it for the energy sector to become better.
Have you heard of calls for a timetable?
Ask those who want it to bring it.
They should bring the timetable.
If there is, I haven't seen any timetable. So when
people are calling for it.
Say bring a timetable. What do you mean? The ECG says that there's no timetable coming. Why do you want to bring a timetable? What purpose? Why would somebody get up and wish evil or bad for the country? When it is not planned, you can't tell the person. Were you in Ghana under John Mahama? Did you live in this country under John Mahama? Did you live in this country under John Mahama? Did you? I'm asking a question.
It was equally worse.
It cannot be equally worse.
But look, MPP use it as a tool against them.
And I'm saying that even if you are talking about that, it was worse under John Mahama than ever now.
Demonstration is not to topple the government. This demonstration is to indicate to Ghanaians the insensitivity of John Mahama's government. The insensitivity of John Mahama's government. This is not to topple government. We don't advocate for a regime change this way. We are going to vote next year and we are going to vote them out massively. That is good governance. That is partisanship. We are going to democratically remove John Mahama from power. Not do this demonstration, but the demonstration is to demonstrate to John Mahama and Ghanaians that what is going on is bad. If you are feeling the heat, like Ghanaians are feeling the heat. If you are buying electricity and they are having it for free, if your salary, you are spending 60% of your salary on electricity bills, then you understand what I'm suffering. I am suffering. John Mahama is not suffering. How do you expect the members us as a collective to speak on your behalf. When you decided to give majority to such a bad government, NBC, Ghanaians should realize that their term matters. Your term matters. Your term matters. When you go and vote, you have to know that the consequences are ahead of you for the next 4 years. The term that Ghanaians gave to John Mahama has shown that they should never again trust John Mahama.
Under my tenure as president, our challenges in the power sector became so severe. I accepted the responsibility and took some bold decisions to provide a sustainable solution to the problem. I did not throw my hands in the air in despair and blame my predecessors for the crisis. When the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia MPP government took over, they have disingenuously tried to take credit for the work that was done in the power sector, and they rather blamed my administration for investing in excess capacity. Today, the country has been plunged into darkness. Mismanagement of our generating assets and collateralization of the ESLA, which was meant to provide the resources to finance current and legacy debt, has led us back into doomsday. The best government can do is to eat humble pie, take responsibility for the problem, and work to address it. Unfortunately, that is not the case. I'm aware that businesses and households cannot plan because of the erratic power situation. When citizens demanded for a schedule to enable them plan, which is the least that a responsible government should be doing, Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, who was one of the frontline participants in the Doomsday Must Stop campaign while in opposition, is reported to have said that those asking for a load shedding timetable wish ill for the country and they should publish their own schedule. This is most disrespectful to Ghanaians and the customers of electric power.
Ghana and Ivory Coast, the comparison has been going on for a while. Darkness in Ghana, light in Ivory Coast. Projects in Ghana delaying, projects in Ivory Coast going on. Your opponents say Ouattara is better than Mahama. And that's why Ghana and Ivory Coast as neighbors seem to have the situation where Ivory Coast is a better country. You are in a better place to tell us that you've been to Ivory Coast, they actually gave you a national award. You know about the ECOWAS situation. Why are we lagging behind Ivory Coast?
You used a very wrong word, lagging behind. We're not lagging behind Ivory Coast. And I normally don't like to compare, but we definitely are not lagging behind Ivory Coast. If you take the UN Human Development Indicators, aside from Cape Verde, Ghana is second in the whole of West Africa in terms of access to water, in terms of, all the various human indicators that are given. Ghana is second. If you take the size of economy, Ghana has the second largest economy. Cote d'Ivoire is third. Like
Ghana
I said,
is second after Nigeria?
Yes, after Nigeria. Ghana has the second largest economy in West Africa. And so I normally don't like those comparisons because each country is at a different stage in its development. And the circumstances in each country are peculiar.
But until recently, they had light, we didn't have light.
Well, Cote d'Ivoire has gone through its own period when they didn't have lights. We've had to exchange power. At times when they don't have, we have given them. At times when we don't have, they give us. And so it's not something new. Since the 70s, our two power systems have been interconnected with each other. Ghana had a Kosombo, which we thought would never, finish. And so we had excess power. And so we used to give Togo, Benin, we used to give Cote d'Ivoire. Unfortunately, the results of climate change have changed things. And aside from that, it's a sign of our growing economy. Our economy has grown so fast that demand for power has ballooned. And we had not been consistent in putting in, enough generation to meet the demand. Aside from that, while demand was increasing, power from our hydro sources has been going down because of the low level of the lake, because of climate change, less rainfall and all that. So it's been a very complex situation, but I normally don't want to place blame. I took responsibility to fix it, and I believe that we do have some stability in our system now. Indeed, we're going into the era of energy security because with...
So you haven't fixed it yet?
We fixed it. We're going into the period of energy security. I mean that the period where we can suffer no such reversal.
When will that period start?
From 2017.
January 2017?
No, with the 10 field, you know, I went and tendered about for the 10 field. Sometime next year, we should see about another 70 million standard cubic feet of gas, you know, coming into Etuabo. And then end of 2017, the ENI field will start. And sometime in 2018, we should have 150 million standard cubic feet of gas.
So by the end of 2017, we should be fully energy sufficient?
By the end of 2017, we should be energy sufficient. By end of 2018, we should have excess power to be able to export that power. Because by 2017, we'll have about 70 million standard cubic feet from the 10 field. By 2018, we'll have 150 million standard cubic feet of gas from the ENI field. The total subscription we have in the West African gas pipeline is 120 million standard cubic feet. So it means ENI is going to give us much more gas than we have subscribed for from.
So we'll have enough gas to power our plant.
So we'll have enough gas to power our thermal plants. We'll even still need additional gas if we can get it. And so all the other work that is going on is important towards making sure that we have enough gas. If we take Jubilee and 10 and ENI together, we're talking, you know, of about 300 million standard cubic feet of gas.
And all of these...
And that should produce about another 2,000 megawatts of power. In addition to what we're producing already. Already we're producing a little over 2,000 megawatts. And so if you add another 2,000, that's 4,000 megawatts. That's far more than Ghana needs.
So we should look at all of that and call it Mahama Duam?
No, we all do.
Right, for people to suggest that there's been electricity tariff increase.
Ghana and Ivory Coast, the comparison has been going on for a while. Darkness in Ghana, light in Ivory Coast. Projects in Ghana delaying, projects in Ivory Coast going on. Your opponents say Ouattara is better than Mahama. And that's why Ghana and Ivory Coast as neighbors seem to have the situation where Ivory Coast is a better country. You are in a better place to tell us that you've been to Ivory Coast, they actually gave you a national award. You know about the ECOWAS situation. Why are we lagging behind Ivory Coast?
You used the very wrong word, lagging behind. We're not lagging behind Ivory Coast. And I normally don't like to compare, but we definitely are not lagging behind Ivory Coast. If you take the UN Human Development Indicators, aside from Cape Verde, Ghana is second in the whole of West Africa in terms of access to water, in terms of, you know, all the various human indicators that are given. Ghana is second. If you take the size of economy, Ghana has the second largest economy. Cote d'Ivoire is third. Like
Ghana
I said,
is second after Nigeria?
Yes, after Nigeria. Ghana has the second largest economy in West Africa. And so I normally don't like those comparisons because each country is at a different stage in its development. And the circumstances in each country are peculiar.
But until recently, they had light, we didn't have light.
Well, Cote d'Ivoire has gone through its own period when they didn't have lights. We've had to exchange power. At times when they don't have, we have given them. At times when we don't have, they give us. And so it's not something new. Since the 70s, our two power systems have been interconnected with each other. Ghana had a Kosombo, which we thought would never, you know, finish. And so we had excess power. And so we used to give Togo, Benin, we used to give Cote d'Ivoire. Unfortunately, the results of climate change have changed things. And aside from that, it's a sign of our growing economy. Our economy has grown so fast that demand for power has ballooned. And we have not been consistent in putting in, you know, enough generation to meet the demand. Aside from that, while demand was increasing, power from our hydro sources has been going down because of the low level of the lake, because of climate change, less rainfall and all that. So it's been a very complex situation, but I normally don't want to place blame. I took responsibility to fix it, and I believe that we do have some stability in our system now. Indeed, we're going into the era of energy security because with...
So you haven't fixed it yet?
We fixed it. We're going into the period of energy security. I mean that the period where we can suffer no such reversal.
When will that period start?
From 2017.
January 2017.
No, with the 10 field, I went and turned about for the 10 field. Sometime next year, we should see about another 70 million standard cubic feet of gas, coming into Etuabo. And then end of 2017, the ENI field will start. And sometime in 2018, we should have 150 million standard cubic feet of gas.
So by the end of 2017, we should be fully energy sufficient?
By end of 2017, we should be energy sufficient. By end of 2018, we should have excess power to be able to export that power.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Thursday, the 4th day of April 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here with yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to Most High God for the very privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly. Well, let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. Ghana's democracy inspires Africa. President Ruto. Nungwa residents divided over alleged child marriage. Focus more on referencing local businesses. Graphic MD to UPSA faculty. Okay. The Ghanaian Times. Leveraging investment opportunities in Ghana and Kenya. Use AFCFTA to boost trade. African businesses told. GTC bans noisemaking in Ghana State. That's the Ghana Traditional Council. May 6 to June 6. Majority Caucus defends passport fee hikes. Ghana-Kenya renew bond of cooperation. Sign 8 MOUs as part of President Ruto's 3-day visit to Ghana. The New Crusading Guide. The Daily Guide. NPP leads in positive social media comments. Ghana, Kenya deepen ties. Independent candidate pops up in Obuasi West. 14 injured in windstorm. Minister takes on a land over religious claims. The New Crusading Guide. Ghana, Kenya strengthen relations to boost trade. Senior Staff Association restores calm at GMPC. Exonerates CEO. Roads Minister tours Bono region. Cuts sought for commencement of 119-kilometer Brekum-Sampa Road project. Ekufado to make GRSML contract audit findings public. Stephen Amwa replaces John Kuma as Deputy Finance Minister. Bawumia running mid saga. Strike balance between regional and religious affinity. The insights. Okujeto drops another bombshell as he accuses government of blowing 2.67 billion cedis on dubious digitization initiatives. 450,000 free student tablets ready for distribution this week. Dr. Yawedu Chum. Pregnant woman allegedly killed, child injured in dastardly Easter demolition exercise at Budumburam. Exposed the fraud, forgery, and lies of Buzi and his United Party. The Daily Statesman. Decisive action on GRASML deal soon. President receives KPMG's audit report. 200-bed Get Fund hostel for Trinity Theological Seminary. 119-kilometer Brekum-Sampa Road begins soon. NPP in unity talks ahead of a Jisu by-election. The New Finder. Access Bank posts 1 billion cedis profit before tax in 2023. Ghana and Kenya commit to enhance trade and investment. Dr. Bawumia cuts sought for 200-bed hostel for Trinity Theological Seminary. Daily Post. We will compensate Isha Oyaro and put his life back on track, Mahama says of Ayasu Westward gun violence victim. Honorable Clement Park launches youth in apprenticeship program in Bulsa South. Stinking. 2.6 million digitalization scandal uncovered. And that's about it. For the front pages, we'll be back shortly.
Welcome to Elcom. In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
How far with your intention?
To be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh, please. I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for internet. But no shaking. I have NHIS already.
After you're on a line, ting.
Ina, look at you. What are you going to do in the office when you can just download the app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just got easier.
Now let me sign up quickly. Please, Seth, I'm starting work next month.
We are back, bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two, with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bets. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fat missy way.
The Pacho Bantama.
Matiasi.
That's a cycle.
The smile, the fresh breath.
Me Gidi say we use Cal 360 toothpaste. Send me Cal 360 toothpaste.
Just here, Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim Jom Kasan. Cal 360 did the work. It's cool mint, gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see so feeling to Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
The biggest car center in Ghana, offering unparalleled round-the-clock service in autos and accessories. Nadam Autofix is the biggest distributors of used tires in Ghana, offering first-grade second-hand car tires of all rim sizes at both wholesale and retail prices. We are also the leading name in car sensor diagnostics, corrections and sales of car accessories. We excel in car washing and detailing with state-of-the-art steam engine washing machines that keep water away from your engine, ensuring a clean, healthy and responsive engine. Nadam Autofix, the first name in servicing, car accessories and car washing. Visit us today and experience the world of class difference. Find us today at Asoridaho, directly opposite Dansoman KFC and the Shell filling station. For more details, you can call us on 0503 244 266 or 0535 339823. Nado Motofix. Wukwain Sunyonko Papa.
Hey, give it to me. Hey, man. Go. One time. Stop. Ah, enough you guys do. Continue.
Prepare yourself to unleash even more moolah by staking from 1 Ghana cedi to 350 Ghana cedis. And you could win 26 times your stake on the exciting new Pick 1 game from Game Pack. Play by dialing *946# on all networks via our website or download the Game Pack app on www.gamepackgames.com. Choose your Pick 1 number from 1 to 36. Place your stake and watch our live draws on Adum TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily.
Hey, live life like me with Game Pack. Game Pack, more moolah, more power.
This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly.
Introducing the new Jamal washing powder with multi-enzymes that helps remove stubborn stains.
It has a nice fragrance. Not harsh on my hands. Foams easily.
things well.
Oh, I still to be.
Ma, he brought 5 big sachets of new Jama washing powder.
Yes, ma.
It really removes stains. It has a nice fragrance.
Yes, ma. Then add 30 sacks of Jama washing powder to your engagement list.
Hey, ma. Jama.
Yes, ma.
New Jama washing powder for cleaner, fresher wash. Your partner for clean clothes. This advert is FDA approved.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Well, we've been in the studios. A brother I haven't seen in a long while, but apparently he was fasting and praying and receiving a lot of prophecies. And one of the prophecies has come true. The only thing is that somebody, I don't know, for those of you who read the Bible, remember Daniel in the lion's den and his prayer and the fact that the Prince of Persia intercepted the angel who was coming to save Daniel. So it looks like there's a certain parliamentary Persian intervention that is holding on to the prophecy. But just as it was resolved, it will also be resolved. In the name of Jesus.
Amen. Amen.
Dr. Kingsley Nyako.
You didn't say amen.
Because he's part of the Persians. Dr. Kingsley Nyako is the MP for Kwadaso and also the Deputy Education Minister designate. Doc Prof. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's been a while.
I tell you. I think more than 7 months, right?
Yes.
Last time I was here.
Yes.
Because I remember one of your advices to me.
Yes.
That I should make sure that I retain my seat. Remember you told me.
Yes.
You know, my constituency, Amani knows being Ashanti region politics for a long time. It's very difficult. So if you don't work hard, I can tell you that you lose the seat. So I had to devote my time there because I worked so hard.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Randy.
So also with me as a person whose special duties include also trying to be a Prince of Persia. As far as his opponents are concerned, he's responsible for special duties. The Deputy Director Special Duties of the NDC, Yao Broja Jemfi. Good morning.
Good morning, Doc. And good morning to Prof. Double congratulations since you got your professorship
Yes.
I haven't seen you in a while. So
which one is the second
congratulations on that one. And the second one is Deputy Minister.
But you are holding the thing.
Oh, yes, the title, you have it, but...
the primary was tough, you know.
The primaries too, yes. So congratulations for all of that.
When it comes to the program, they all manner of messages.
I tell you.
Social media. Oh, man.
It's quite it's like one of my constituencies. I live there. If I worked there before, when Honorable Yamin was
my mother-in-law
the candidate.
Yes.
And it's a very difficult seat internally, you know, to go for even the second term is quite difficult. You know, when it was carved out of Bantama, Hilda Akoto came to remove.
Hey, Hilda, that lady, is she around?
Yeah, she's around. I don't know, I'm sure now she's yellow.
I don't know for sure.
Butterfly.
Yes.
I don't know for sure, but I know she's
I remember her. I've not heard from her in a long while. So Hilda did what, one term?
Yes, Hilda did one.
And Dr. Akoto
came to do two. And then Nyama came one.
So you saw the sequence.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But you must try and do 3.
Yeah, you see what God will do. You need to work hard. I mean, whether them for your money, he's friends with Yamin. Their bodies.
Yes.
And Sami Jamfi. So these 3 guys, you know what I mean? So, and Yamin lived in Kwadaso and contested twice. On the ticket of the NDC.
2004, 2008.
I mean, his time, he did well. So when these guys were contesting for the national position in the NDC, you know, I supported both of them, you know what I mean, honestly. But if the two had gotten the opportunity, I think they would have given us a lot of...
Prof, I still have the opportunity doing special duty. Don't worry.
But that is different from being the youth organizer, you know.
Of course, but we are all in it together.
But we handle you.
I think it's a teamwork.
We handle you because we know each other, how we do things, so we should be able to contain you.
So I'm sure now, by the decision of the Supreme Court, it's going to pave way for Parliament to remit the bill to the President and for Parliament to also approve the minister so that you can go and start. You can go and start work at the Ministry of Education.
I mean, that is fair, you know what I mean? So, with respect to our viewers, let's make with them. Barandi, so, I mean, it's good Boja has brought up this matter. My candid opinion with respect to our Speaker of Parliament, that these issues must be handled distinctly, differently. You know what I mean? We must examine them on their own merits. The transmittal of the bill to the presidency and business in the House, separately, you know what I mean? So for me, if we say or Speaker thinks that the content of the transmitter letter from the presidency signed by Bedia to the clerk of Parliament was in a way unwholesome or distasteful or they disagree with the content. But I think that the best thing to do is to point out the points of departure or disagreement and offer your position. That is the essence of democracy. One cardinal principle of democracy is tolerance. And Speaker of Parliament, with respect to him, always espouses this tenet, tolerance. So what happened on that day, for me, shouldn't have happened. You know, Speaker should have exercised restraint and that and should have looked at the issues distinctly and on their own merits. The report on that day was even different from the suit that was filed by my very good friend Roxanne Nelson at the Fiamapo, because the report didn't include those the suit targeted, the ministers who had been reassigned, and a deputy minister who had also been reassigned. The report was about those who had been vetted, you know what I mean, and were not part of, the suit. So using that as a reason to, deny some of us opportunity to be approved on that day, for me was completely unfair. If Speaker had even, after his speech on the floor, I listened to him vehemently, and he made some important and interesting points. Okay, there was something that he said that I agreed. Some I didn't agree, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but when he was done, I was expecting him to formally adjourn the House, as we do. When he's done, he will give opportunity to the two leaders, the majority and the minority, to also, make their positions. At the time that we adjourned, we were in his hands. Okay, so after their respective submissions, he could have said that, okay, we are adjourning. Okay, so but I think that he was not happy about the content of the letter. Anger was there. We are human beings, so at times emotions can take over our sense of judgment. You know what I mean? But then, as leaders, we should also do our possible best to not allow emotions, to have the better part of us, because Speaker has built, a strong legacy. I have a huge respect for him, you know what I mean, before we came to Parliament. And how he became Speaker of Parliament, the controversy and the fight. And I saw on that day how people like Muntaka, Haruna, and others fought for him, you know what I mean. So they fought for him so fiercely that he became, the Speaker. So I know that he owes them some form of obligation, and that is fair. I'm not expecting Speaker of Parliament to be neutral. I learned that from Randy Abbey. It's not about neutrality, it's about impartiality. I don't expect him to be neutral, but I expect him to be impartial, to be fair and candid to issues, you know what I mean. So, I think, before I conclude, I'm hoping that as time has passed, he will reconsider his decision and will call the House for us to do what we had to do, because there were other businesses on that day, not only about the approval of the president nominees, there were also, I think, some exemptions, and also the Garrett project that they were supposed to consider. So we couldn't do those things on that day.
I think that some of you only became victims of the circumstance. And for me, what happened, honestly, is good for our constitutional democracy, because the actions of the executive is subject to the Constitution, same as the legislature and the judiciary. And so once that letter came, and if you notice, that letter really, was contemptuous of Parliament. And not only just that, the people of Ghana, the response, if you monitor the response on our airwaves in the media, Ghanaians generally were very upset with that letter, the tone of the letter and how it was communicated. And so it was this kind of showing superiority in terms of the executive and then a parliament. And president who will come after President Akufo-Addo will take a cue from it. And if you listen to Professor Ade, he has said that we should look at our constitution once again. And I'm happy that President Mahama has committed himself to reigniting the processes of reviewing our constitution and looking at certain aspects of it, where the president believes that he has absolute power and can command other independent, constitutionally established institutions. That of Parliament, I think, was uncalled for. But we are all waiting. I don't know if your side is going to call for an early return of Parliament, or you are going to wait until the Speaker calls, whatever it is. Once you are called per the decision of the Supreme Court, I'm sure that issue will be cleared. But the minority leader has explained that on that day, there was practically no business before the House because there were some reports that they were waiting to receive before those tax exemptions and other loan facilities. Yes, exactly. I watched him on
Randy, I'm not interjecting, but on that score, because I'm on the finance committee, and Atofo the respected leader, was not completely right when he said that when they were on the show, because finance committee was sitting. We even had meeting. I can show you evidence where the clerk to the committee had called for a meeting for us to look at the exemptions. You know what I mean? So, but
now what he said was that day was when you were going to rise.
Yeah.
It was not part of the business for the day.
Yeah. It was.
No, I said it was not on the paper. It was not part. Yes.
One day I can tell you that these two matters were being considered. You can ask John Janapoi and others.
But Prof, is it true that
there were disagreement?
Is it true that they had requested
yes, so on the basis of
the
disagreement, it had not been
the report. So on the Gary project, we had decided to visit the sites, or do that site, another site. You know what I mean? And that had not been done.
Yes.
But there was agreement between our leaders as to how it had. We had to proceed on that. On the exemptions, they were being worked on. Okay, at times when we are about to adjourn, we sit till midnight. So all these things were ongoing. You know what I mean? Though as I'm saying, there were disagreements on that. So whilst we were trying to meet around 7 p.m. or starting 6:30 p.m. or so, the speaker entered the chamber. And things took a different angle. But my appeal to Speaker of Parliament, Alban Kingsford Sumana Babin, the father of the house, as we call him, Father, oh Father, we are appealing to you to record the house. He has the power to do that. You know what I mean? He has the power to do that. So, and I'm convinced that he will do that. I'm convinced that he will do that.
I was suspecting that the way the Attorney General facilitated the hearing of the case, you are going to call the House to come. But Doc, before you move to the issues of the day, over the weekend, our candidate, President Mahama, spent his Easter holidays doing some political activities in the Eastern region. He was in the Eastern region. He met with the businessmen in that enclave. And Doc, you know, and many Ghanaians know that when you mention the Kwawus, they are very industrious. That's what comes in mind. And very successful businessmen whose business have been hit by the economic mismanagement, which has created a mess in the system. President Mahama met with them in Kwawu. Before that, he had visited the Obomin Hines Palace to interact with the chiefs, where he made a very profound statement that he was going to develop the country equitably. He was not going to be picking where he got votes or not, and he has demonstrated that in the past. And I think that was very, very profound. He joined the 10,000-man, 24-hour economic policy walk in Kwawu over the weekend. And let me congratulate Chairman Kevo, Secretary Baba Jamal, the youth organizer, for leading such an activity. Yesterday, President Mahama visited the Wisconsin International University College, where he had a public lecture with the School of Communication. And he touched on the NDC's policy on education, when the the manifesto come, we'll see the details about it. But he mentioned that our focus will be on quality, access, and equity. And I think that that's something that's going to drive the educational policy in order to address the problems and the bottlenecks in the system. One thing that I was very happy about was his announcement of the policy of introducing community day secondary schools in already established secondary schools within the urban centers and the peri-urban centers, where students want to have access to these schools, but because of lack of availability of space, they are posted to elsewhere. So if you have a secondary school established, which has vast land, President Mahama is promising to build community day secondary schools within those secondary schools so that access will be expanded and other people will also have the opportunity to attend a senior high school. And I think that it was something that many of the persons who attended the lecture was excited about, to address the issue of access and totally take out the double track system, which is still ongoing in our educational sector.
All right. Yes.
Democracy, Randy. You know, we have separation of powers. Separation of powers is not supremacy of powers. It means that each of the organs of government has to operate within its defined functions, powers, and duties.
Subject to the Constitution.
Fantastic, because you cannot do things arbitrarily. Okay,
exactly.
So that's the point. That is why, Randy, we need to allow people to express their views in a decent and decorous manner. When you disagree with me, or if the executive has issues with the legislature, there is a way of dealing with it. It shouldn't be confrontational. It should be consensus. That is the point that some of us are making and we believe in. That is how we grow democracy. We don't have to antagonize each other because I said something that was against you, then you also respond in an equal measure. At times, we need to appreciate people's opinions and perspectives. If you disagree with them, then you state your position, we move on. We don't need less tension.
But Prof, you need to deal with.
There's something you say. There's something that you guys say.
Yeah.
So to
more money for.
No, what to.
That's the point.
We also say that obi fum kuma, obi em That was what you said earlier on.
Yes.
Do wrongs.
Don't make it right. No, but my point is that. Prof, no, my point is that. At this stage,
yes,
when, for want of a better expression, two wrongs have been occasioned, if we are advising, shouldn't we be advising the two wrongdoers, so to speak?
So that is why I'm saying.
Otherwise, people might get the impression that, as for one side,
that wrong is justified.
It's okay for them to do wrong.
That is not what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying that if you are not careful, especially at this time,
exactly.
When you choose my words carefully,
right?
And I'm saying that we need to be tolerant. And I made an earlier point that when you disagree with somebody, you have to state your points of departure from that reasoning. Okay, on this show, I'll disagree with you. You make a point. There are times that we agree. There are times that we disagree. For me, that is the beauty of democracy. We don't have to be confrontational. We don't have to fight because somebody has made a wrong. When even Kumasi, he will tell you. At times you go and say people will insult you, right? But what do you do?
But Prof, you see,
you know what I mean?
You see this issue. That's why I said that I was happy about it, because it helps build the constitutional democracy that we have. The president has no discretion as to whether the transmission of a letter or a bill from Parliament should be received or not. That's a constitutional mandate. And for Christ's sake, President Akufo-Addo is not an officer of the course, so to speak, with respect to this particular matter. That even if somebody's action may be contemptuous of a court, do you physically prevent the person who believes that he's undertaking a constitutional duty? And I think that the president was completely wrong and the action was unconstitutional. Beyond even the letter that was written by Nana Asante Bediatu, which was contemptuous of Parliament, the action of the presidency to prevent the clerk of Parliament from transmitting a letter to the presidency is completely unconstitutional. And so I don't even see it as a wrong, two wrongs. The Speaker of Parliament, as somebody would say, for shaggy reasons, was only saying that if the presidency has established a certain principle, then let all persons who are subject to the Constitution follow that principle, in order to communicate to the presidency that what he did or what the president, whether on his authority that letter was written or not, once it came from the presidency, it showed that the president was not respecting the Constitution and was not giving due respect to Parliament. And so I think that as a parliamentarian, you should be concerned that you have the mandate of the people. Your primary responsibility, legislative power is vested in you. You do the laws, you pass it on to the president for the president to assent to it. You remember that something had happened with regards to the second amendment on the death penalty that had to do with the armed forces and then the witchcraft thing. What did the president do? The Constitution is very clear that a bill that is introduced to Parliament, if that bill, in the estimation or the discretion of the person presiding, if that bill has financial implications, then a private member cannot institute such a bill. That's in the opinion of the person presiding. But when the bill was transmitted to the president waited, going even beyond the constitutionally provided period for responding to it. He wrote to the Speaker of Parliament questioning why the Speaker of Parliament allowed such a bill to go through. And so the relationship between the executive and the legislature is not something that we should all be happy about. President Akufo-Addo should not see Alban Babin, Speaker of Parliament, as an NDC member. And so that makes that arm of government a whole NDC institution. I think that that's why he's trying to treat Parliament with that contempt. He's still not overcome the speakership elections. But Babin won the elections on his own merit. It's not the first time we've gone into a heated speakership election. Doc, you remember the last time, I think it was Bejra Sechi Hughes, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sechi Hughes, during his time when Alajete, the NDC nominated Alajete, yes, for that election, which cost us the second deputy speaker that the NPP took it from us. So these are things that, for me, helps our democracy. For the first time, we're having an opposition person as a Speaker of Parliament. President Akufo-Addo should still see Parliament as a constitutional institution. The powers of Parliament have not been reduced because it is being headed by an opposition member. It is that kind of mindset that is influencing the presidency's approach to Parliament. And it's very bad, because Parliament is an institution. When Speaker Babin is unavailable, all the two deputy speakers, at least one of them is NPP, the other is also rooted in NPP. When they preside, Parliament is working as an institution. And so we must advise the presidency that Parliament must be respected. Just as we all respect the executive, we respect the judiciary. When they are all exercising their constitutionally mandated functions, we should allow for them to exercise. There are oversights, there are checks and balances. If the conduct of a parliamentary decision or a law made by Parliament is against the Constitution, as the President wants to state, there are ways of going for constitutional interpretation, judicial review in order to do it. There have been many cases where the judiciary has struck down laws that have been passed by Parliament. Recently, the case of this case about the cannabis, this man from Nzima, Ezrami, he took Parliament to court against a bill that was passed. He challenged the process that Article 106 was not followed as it should be. The Supreme Court made a pronouncement on it. That was a complete product of Parliament. And so let us allow Parliament to do its work. And when we disagree, we subject that decision to a judicial review. It is not in the mandate of the President to be directing Parliament on what is right and what is not right. That is not part of the constitutional functions of the President. So he should leave Parliament to work as an independent institution. When that is done, I am sure that the keka will not come. When the kuku stop, the keka will also stop.
Randy, let me conclude on this matter. Randy, the President has respect for Parliament. He's been an MP for 3 consecutive terms, 12 years. He respects Speaker Babin, Honorable Babin. He respects him, okay, because they've been colleagues in Parliament. He respects him. Okay, so I disagree with you when you said that the President doesn't, accord no respect. The President respects him, respects Parliament. You see, when there are two issues here. The letter from the DA2 was from the President. But was signed by him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that from the DA2. That letter was prompting the clerk to Parliament that there was a pending suit barring Parliament from transmitting the bill to the presidency. Just prompting him. The clerk to Parliament is a lawyer. So we're just prompting him. And my point is that the speaker, if you prompt him because there was a suit, that transmitter should not happen. Okay, that doesn't mean that you are undermining Parliament. Bro. My point is that the clerk to Parliament could have also written back, indicating.
Prof? Okay. I don't like getting back to these issues because we have, the first time we have discussed it. No, I'm just speaking for myself. But obviously, if you have respect for an institution and you are communicating to that institution, your communication to that institution must reflect that respect. Yes. Your choice of words, even if you are bereft of appropriate adjectives, you don't use seasoned. You don't use some of those adjectives. When you say that Parliament, when you even indicate that Parliament has been attempting to present a bill to Parliament, which injunction has restrained Parliament from presenting a bill to the presidency?
Randy, go back to, I think, the last paragraph. I'll show you something.
But that even meant that, no, that even
meant the last paragraph of what? The letter?
That even meant that they had physically prevented the
speaker said on 3 occasions.
Yes, from presenting the letter. And that's uncalled for.
Please, Prof wants the last paragraph, so please go. The last paragraph is the one that contains the cease and desist.
The cease and desist. That's what.
In fact, the key paragraphs are first paragraph and last paragraph.
So I just want to.
You better choose another paragraph because that last paragraph will not help you.
That's the last paragraph.
So in the circumstances, you are kindly requested. Kindly connotes humility.
Exactly. Requested.
So when we are talking about the disease and whatever, we just conventionally
you know what they say. You know what they say about our
the thing. So in all fairness, you know what I mean. Those words might not be appropriate.
You know, my people, we can show you our tongue. It's still so far.
No, but when somebody says you are kindly, the person is exhibiting humility.
Bro, frankly, I don't think that you have to defend this because
no, I'm not defending it. You know, you see, I've made a point that in a letter of this nature, if Parliament disagrees, Parliament writes back and says that we disagree with you based on your choice of words.
After preventing them from...
Parliament's communication
is written.
Parliament also has a way that it works. When the speaker speaks, when you speak on the floor, you have communicated. That's how Parliament communicates.
Yes.
So the speaker receives a letter. He reads it to you. He communicates the response to you. But the only thing is that we film.
Was this letter meant for the public? It was meant for Parliament. It was
Parliament is the public.
Yeah.
I know, but
it was must know.
Private letter.
It's not it's not a confidential letter.
It's not private.
Sent to Parliament.
Prof, it cannot be private. The subject matter is a matter that has
it concerns the power of the people.
Then the presidency.
Prof, we put you there.
No, I know.
So anything that comes at you,
we are having discussion.
Yes, I know.
I just want us to be open-minded.
Yes, but I'm saying that this letter you don't have to defend it.
No. If it was meant for the public, maybe a tool would have. I mean, we should it to the public, to the media houses. But I'm saying that it was sent to the clerk to Parliament.
Yes.
And my point, I might be wrong, but my point is that this, the clerk will relay the information to the speaker.
Yes. Which he did.
Of course, he will do that because he's his boss.
Yes.
My respected opinion is that then you also write and say that, Mr. Secretary to the President, this point that you have raised, we disagree with you, your choice of words, and that we legally, you don't have any locals. That is what I was expecting this. Okay. That is my opinion on that. Okay, so you say that we disagree with you on A, B, C, D. This shouldn't lead to
the speaker did
the tension that we are experiencing in the country.
You see, if you put yourself in the speaker's shoes,
I always do that. I always do that.
No, you would appreciate that. This is a public interest matter.
Yes.
This is a matter. I do not remember the last time that any legislation drew the attention and presence of the kinds of people whose presence and attention this bill drew.
Yes.
The kinds of religious leaders and other people. I mean, I'm saying both for and against.
Yes,
I don't remember the last time that we had any bill that has drawn the kind of public interest that this one has drawn.
Yeah.
So if you hear issues of, but Parliament itself, the President has not received anything. In fact, I think it was even the President who indicated that they are yet to receive.
He's yet to receive.
And people kept asking.
People
kept asking, but you people, you have approved the thing. How come it's not gone there?
It's not gone to the presidency.
You understand me? So, I think that it's also incumbent on the Speaker to let the public know that, look, this is the state of affairs.
Yes.
We have tried to do our work on 3 different occasions.
And
as has been established by many people, the process of conveying, the process of giving the bill to the presidency is part of the legislative functions of Parliament.
Of the process, exactly.
When you have approved the bill, unanimous or majority, and the issue of conveyance is not done, Parliament has not completed its legislative function.
Yes.
So the Speaker had to let Ghanaians know that, look, this is the state, this is the status. As to what he said, his tone, whether he was angry or not, whether the thing ended abruptly or not, for me, For me, that's another issue.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about, isn't it?
And I'm sure that next time, when the presidency is also addressing something to Parliament,
yes, they will take a cue from
some of these things will, they will inform how we all go about. I think, but anyway,
really...
if you're thinking of getting a toothpaste that will take care of all the family and save money, the recommended family toothpaste is KEL 360 toothpaste. This is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. KEL 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. KEL 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mains gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste, another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasu, is available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. Call Samara Company on 0246 864 798. KEL 360 toothpaste. Happy smile. And the pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages, but worry no more. Lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple, self-supported elevator for both homes and offices. And guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakuma or just call them on 0200 535 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movement. All right, so we'll take a break. When we return, I find it quite interesting when we require dictionaries to explain or define words, phrases, terminologies that ought to be extremely simple. Now, at the heart of what I'm talking about is the expression poor and needy. All of a sudden, we have 3 million definitions of poor and needy. And we seem to suggest that we can't define what is poor and needy. And we perhaps will need a legislation to deal specifically with what poor and needy is about. Well, that sounds scholarly, doesn't it? We're back to speak about scholarships.
This is a call to you. The dreamers. The ones that see no boundaries.
Dreamers take a chance.
The explorers that chart their own path.
Unlock the vibes, connect the energy.
The ones that dare to challenge the status quo.
Get connected, feel the
When others try to think outside the box, you wonder, what box?
Catch the wave, enjoy the ride.
To the architects of their journeys. Every connection is an opportunity to explore every experience. This is your call to adventure. Your journey begins here. Be bold, be daring, be free. Connecting passions, connecting dreams, connecting ambitions. Telecel, connecting energies.
It's good to stay strong together. It's good to share nutritious meals cooked with Fritol, a vitamin A fortified oil. Fritol, you deserve a life of goodness. This advert is FDA approved.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with free play Friday and swipe bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with cash out and build a bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bets. At the back, they have smart picks and the partial daily jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway.
18 years in business, Appointed Time Printing Limited has delivered quality service to some of Ghana's well-known brands. With our equipment capacity, we are able to deliver 1,500 pieces of polo and t-shirts in 1 hour. This is only possible with us. For retailers and wholesalers, we offer for sale high-quality polo shirts and t-shirts in different colors at affordable prices. We have a one-stop shop for all creative designs and billboards, 3D signages, flexi banners, car branding, stickers and posters. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 454165, 0501 454167. Connect with us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Appointed Time GH, Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is a
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fat missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Machasi.
That's a cycle.
It's her smile, the fresh breath.
Me, Gidi said we used to Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim Jom Kasan. Cal 360 did the one. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
And you will so feeling when you know Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have Dr. Kingsley Nyaku and Yao Broja Jemfi. But what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, as God and Mola got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website at www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some more. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games, more mola, more power. This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority. It's not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Ayesoko, that could be big, but Betway's cash out be bigger. Betway is giving you more control over every thrilling bet you place. Enjoy the biggest and most reliable cash out in Ghana on Betway without any hassle. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. This is not for persons under 18 and is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more. And Blue Jeans energy drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans energy drink has been tested and tried. It's indeed the best. Blue Jeans energy drink is for bold and active men and women. So go on, grab a cold can and power your day. It's in shops nationwide. For bulk purchases, contact Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190 or 055 001 0000. All right. Okay, so
somebody said if I'm getting
the Fourth Estate has put out a documentary, and that documentary looked at the scholarship system here in this country. And I guess that the crux of it was by how those who are part of the elite and the privileged in this country are rather the beneficiaries of what should be for the poor and the needy. And they actually have put out evidence of persons who have benefited from these scholarships, who from on the basis of who they are should ordinarily not be a part. I mean, the worst part is a person whose fees were paid to a university, and the person never attended the university at all, didn't go there at all. And as when they contacted the person said that he had an accident some time back, and he didn't go. And in fact, the school has even been sending emails asking for some more fees to be paid. And you want to ask yourself, if it was your own money or your parents' money, will you be that flippant and reckless and irresponsible as that? But a lot of issues. And so this has generated a lot of debate, and it's brought to the fore the greed of the elites and the political class, and the fact that they will take advantage of all of these things, and that what is actually meant or set up, the objectives of endeavors like this don't get realized, because once again the same political elite then take advantage of this. Now, in all this discussion, which has been going on for the last 3 or 4 days, the Registrar of the Scholarship Secretariat, Dr. Kingsley Agyemang, has called for swift legislation to streamline the distribution of scholarships in the country. According to him, the current challenges faced by officers in making decisions stem from the absence of clear legislation defining who qualifies as a needy individual for the scholarships. Dr. Agyemang's remarks come in response to a recent publication by Fourth Estate which alleged that scholarships are unfairly distributed to well-connected, affluent individuals in the country. And in a yet-to-be-aired interview on Joy News, Dr. Agyemang emphasized the necessity of scholarship legislation to dispel any misconception about eligibility criteria. Quote, "I think a scholarship legislation is so imminent, and that will set out everything that we need to do or how the funds need to be managed. It's been managed over the years by the dexterity of leaders. What I think is so important. So in conjunction with maybe National Development Planning Commission, NDPC, to really identify priority areas that as Ghanaians we need to." Now, he pointed out the lack of an establishment act for the Scholarship Secretariat, which has been an ongoing issue requiring public discussion. He also addressed questions about why some individuals are giving scholarships to train abroad when similar courses are available in the country, stating that such concerns oversimplify the situation. a question whether those referred to as middle-income earners, such as public sector workers, are middle-income earners in line with best practices or economic conditions. And he emphasized that even civil servants fall within the category of people who genuinely need scholarship support, saying every Ghanaian, except the high earners, is a needy person. Okay, so this is the issue. And you are a teacher, a professor. You have run the accreditation system for institutions and courses in Ghana, especially at tertiary level. You are a member of parliament. You still teach. And you are now Deputy Minister of Education designate. I don't know if you have followed the Fourth Estate expose, but these are also issues that Dr. Ajiman has raised. And when I listen to the issues, I see some broad areas. One has to do with the fact that the political elite, now people want to call them the greedy elite, are taking advantage of their, or have been taking advantage of their positions to take what is not meant for them. And so the objectives of such scholarships are not being achieved. Two is that some of the programs that we spend money on, people have raised the issue of the fact that, look, there are Ghanaian universities that provide those programs. So there must be a compelling reason why you would want to pay 20 times more with attendant cost of feeding and accommodation and all that for somebody to go and do the program outside. Three is, the fact that we are not even using this thing to also deal with the issues of a skill set audit, which then defines the kind of skills that are in little supply, or the skills that are required to get us to where we want to get to in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And also decide to then utilize the scholarship in actually shoring up these skills or providing the state with these skills. Now, the boss of the Scholarship Secretariat says that I know the Scholarship Secretariat is under the presidency, not the ministry. But of course, there ought to be a link in terms of your work. He says that, look, there's no legislation. We need a legislation. Some of the people that we even say that are not poor and needy are indeed needy, like civil servants. And he says that there's also a misconception about the issue of programs that are available here and are done elsewhere and all that. I don't know what you make of this and whether you think that this is a concern.
Yeah, Randy, this is a good one. And so it is all about building capacity of Ghanaians, or the citizens, and how those capacities could translate into better fortunes for the country and the development of the individuals themselves. So Randy, and over the years, we've had issues regarding our scholarships. I remember at pre-tertiary level, those times, CMB, Government of Ghana scholarship, we had issues there. And those who really needed them, there were allegations that they didn't even get them. And it's also happening at the tertiary level. And I agree with the observations made by Kingsley Ajiman. And I think that these are issues that we need to look into them critically and streamline the scholarship system to benefit those who really need them. And as you said, critical areas that we need to target so that we can maximize the outcomes on the society. Because we are entering into electionary campaign and preparation of manifestos, one will be careful about things that they say, especially on this platform. But I think that these are concerns that are being critically looked into. One, for example, I agree. I think it is long overdue in terms of having some form of framework that determines who gets what. I mean, the kind of programs that will qualify one to obtain the scholarship and the skills that we want to develop. I think these are critical issues that we need to address in any framework or legislation or policy that we aspire to have. One day, Get Fund, for example, used to give scholarships to students who wanted to study abroad. I think it is no more now. The focus is within the shores of this country. We have very good universities here that we need to be proud of them and receive education from these institutions. Some of them, if you want to go and study outside, you want to do MBA or any program that you can do in this country, then you should bear the cost. For me, I think that is the most reasonable thing to do. It shouldn't be at the expense of the nation, unless the nation decides that you want to study in this country, then we will do it. Randy, there are a lot of intelligent, brilliant persons in our society, but these persons are vulnerable. They live in deprived communities. That they are there. They have IQs. The IQ of the poor child might be better than the IQ of the privileged child. No, the IQ of a poor child in a deprived, vulnerable area or born to a poor person might be better than the IQ of a child of a well-to-do, rich, affluent individual. Okay, so the question is, those children, vulnerable persons who have superior IQs of 120 and beyond, who need help, how do we identify them and support them? Because Randy, I've been saying that you don't need everybody to be intelligent or obtain certain skills before you can build a country. One person, when we are able to identify them and harness their skills, can give us a breakthrough intervention or research that can transform the fortunes of this country. And this is something that we are not doing well. And I think that is where the focus of educationists and government should be on. Identify them and get their strength to build a society. And studying in Germany and some of the advanced countries, one day you realize that they have gifted education programs where deliberately children who are gifted and talented are identified and put in an educational institution and given education. And if you do further studies, you realize that some of these students ended up producing inventions and innovative ideas that benefit their country. That's what we have to do. So the call for streamlining of the scholarship. We have institutions, a lot of institutions that provide scholarships. How do we put them together? So these are discussions that, Randy, that are ongoing to see how we can use the system to build our society. And when you talk about political elites and greedy, you say political elites and greedy elites or whatever. So then politicians become the targets. But I don't know how many politicians who benefit from this. There might be some of them, but it's not every politician whose children or relations benefit from this. But I think it also makes sense for us to also argue that at a certain level, if you are at a certain level in society, on a certain social mobility level, then some of these things, you should morally and consciously decide that, you are out of it. You know what I mean? For me, I think the policy will give us the guidelines for us to streamline this. There are a lot of skill gaps in our society. The science, natural science areas, for example, engineering, actuarial scientists, and you know what I mean? They're in high demand, but we don't have enough skills that we can cash in to benefit this society. And I think that policies should look at how we can get these skills and maximize them towards the forward march of this country. You know what I mean? So we need to do more. And there's some discussions ongoing on this matter, and I'm involved in that. So I am very careful what to say about this. But I can promise you that the scholarship portfolios in this country, okay, we see some form of change moving on, right? Moving on. I think we see some of change because having discussions, thinking through how to make the scheme better, and all that. You know what I mean? So Randy, I think that this is what I would say about this. Ghana is at a position where we need to hasten our development. We have done some good things. There are more that have to be done. Recently, one of my constituents sent me an admission letter from an institution in Scotland that person wants to pursue MBA, 1 year MBA, and it's costing about £22,000. And I was asking myself, £22,000, unless you just want to travel. If truly you want to pursue this particular program, £22,000, you go to the University of Ghana or any business institution in this country, that you need about 1/3 of this amount to be able to do the program. And why do you want to get a government of Ghana scholarship to go and pursue this program somewhere when you can do it here? So the model by Get Fund for me, is good. Okay. So as we are, and I want to encourage some of our students who want to, pursue further education to look within. We have competent, lecturers in the system. Our tertiary education institutions, are very good that we can obtain the needed skills that we need. When I traveled to Germany to study, at that time, Randy, Germany, I think still was providing free tuition. Okay, so you go in the free tuition, you wouldn't even think about obtaining government of Ghana scholarship. Okay, so you go in there and you find ways of surviving. In there, you can even apply for funding from within that environment to support your education, your educational progress. So we need to think deeply about this. And as I said earlier on, the scholarship secretariat, and the various institutions under the government that offer scholarships, I think that there is a way that we are going to consider in ensuring that we maximize the monies that go out. Maximize those resources based on what we need in the country. Okay, as I said, actuarial scientists, how many of them do we have in this country? Okay, how many scientists do we have in this country? The education strategic plan talks about, by 2030, you're talking about 60 to 40 science-humanity ratio. Now it is 40-60, okay? We are making some steady progress, but that is the focus. When we're able to produce students with a competent STEM background, then we are thinking that we are going to have a very good future, okay? Coming from pre-tertiary, if the base is widened, if we get more students to pursue, STEM-related, to have interest in science, okay, then it means that coming up, we will get more students with interest in science at the secondary level and also at the tertiary level. Academic City University College, the president, very fantastic being, Professor Mabangori or so. If you go to that institution, when I was at NAB, I went there. Randy, their plan, their agenda was to have a strictly science-biased institution. The president is a fantastic, brain, very good. So that was it. But they were not getting the students. They were not. So what they had to do was to also introduce business programs, entrepreneurial. In fact, they were even giving.
That's what happened to KNUST many years ago.
Yeah. So because that's why you see the policy of this government, these STEM programs, okay, smart school, projects that we are pursuing. The idea is to encourage, interest in science, to get more of them in the system. It will take, some time, but gradually we should be able to get there. So, Randy, that is it. So, that institution was the first institution in this country that I'm aware of that was given accreditation when I was at NAB to have programs in robotics and AI. That institution. Okay, so they have their plans to train students. They've been giving them scholarships, but we're not getting the students. We're talking about K University. Now, we're talking about mandate creep. They were established by their mandates to produce, science students. But now they are having other programs unrelated to,
Their humanity programs are even more than some of the humanity universities.
And I'm sure.
And it's the money.
That's it.
And that for me, Prof. That for me, and it might look like we're digressing a bit, but that for me is an issue that I've raised with you. We have discussed on this show many times. I think it's a failure in policy. It's a failure in policy. And especially, when this proliferation of private universities came up and all that, our obsession had to do with the establishment of a lot more universities to absorb the growing secondary school graduates, without fully addressing the issue of curriculum, the courses that these universities were going to provide, and whether those numbers, those programs, and the numbers in which they are being produced are actually in tandem with our skill requirements.
Yeah. For me, that is, fair argument. So industry, raises the concerns you are talking about. But when you educate students to level, let's even put the job that they are going to get, aside. They are trained in such a way that their capacity and their functionality in society cannot be underestimated.
Yes.
That is very crucial.
Yes.
However, I don't know, or most universities in the world, nowadays it's difficult to stick to a particular mandate. Be difficult.
That's not even my point.
I'm just making the point.
Numbers.
Yes. So,
because as far as I'm concerned, every single discipline is important.
Yeah.
But it's the numbers in which we are producing them.
Yeah, the numbers. Yeah, but you can also say that they should end their education at tertiary. However, what we have to do is that, do we have enough factories, enough industries, enough jobs to absorb them? That is what government has to do.
Example. You see the academic city example that you use. Yeah. People have used Ashesi.
Yeah.
People have used, there's an institution, is academic city the one in Koforidua?
No, All Nations is the one in Koforidua. All Nations.
Do they also do robotics? Do they also do robotics?
When I was
the Koforidua one.
When I was there, it was academic city. If now they are doing...
There's an institution, they even went for an international competition.
Oh, okay. All nations. At that time, I think they developed, a satellite,
Okay.
a satellite. But they were not doing AI or robotics at that time.
Yeah. So the point that I was driving at is that when I raised the issue of the proliferation, is that, you see, it is easier for the private person. It's easier to set up a humanities-based tertiary institution than to go for a science and technology one.
Why?
Cost.
That is one. Two. That is one.
Yes.
Two. That's why I said earlier on that. What is the interest in STEM programs at the base? How do we develop the interest in the learners? We don't have many of them. Okay, so the point is that if you're able to increase or raise the interest of learners at that level, and we get more interest coming from, primary to secondary, then we will get more students to veer into those areas.
I'll use law and medicine as two examples to buttress the point I'm making. When we had only the University of Ghana Medical School, a lot of people who didn't get the opportunity of studying medicine, if perhaps it was in today's time, they would have studied medicine. A lot of people who, when it was just the University of Ghana Law Faculty, providing LLB programs, if other institutions had not also established LLB faculties, they would not have had the opportunity of studying law. The point I'm making is that there are a lot of people who perhaps want to go into engineering, many of the engineering programs, but the universities have a cutoff. Like how it used to be with admin at Legon back in the day, where the cutoff point for admin sometimes was 6, 5. For A-level people, 6, 7, 5, and all that. So if you didn't make that grade, you will not be accepted. Not because you don't have the aptitude, but it's because they just can't take you. It's an issue of space. You understand? So then you have to do other things. If you had maybe a lot more engineering universities, let's say even UMaT. There are a lot of people that UMaT is taking on, where if you didn't have UMaT, those people would not have the opportunity of studying those programs.
That is fair.
So my point is that if the issue of setting up, it's easier for me to set up a humanities university. I can use this building to set up a university, humanities. I need to deal with the faculty. Once I have the whiteboard and all those things, I'm fine. I'll meet the requirements. But if I want to set up an engineering school, the cost of setting that up. So my point is that from a policy point of view, it is up to the country, the state, to then decide that, look, these are the skill sets that are required, for my country now and in the future. And so even as I look at the proliferation of the tertiary space, can I use, whether it is GET fund, it is whatever, to also skew getting private people to be more interested in certain areas where they would not go to because cost is a hindrance. And that is what I'm saying that we have failed to do. And so you see that most of the universities, private universities, are in the area of humanities.
That's why I said that, it's expensive because you need to get labs and all that. That is a fact. But see, like Academic City University College, they invested so much. The investor is an Indian, so much. If they were getting the students, right? I don't think that cost would be an object.
Maybe it's a fee because it's private.
They even give scholarships. They give scholarship to students. Scholarships.
Who don't come?
They don't get the students. So it is, as we said, most of.
Is it because people are not aware?
They are aware. It's one of the best universities that I've seen in terms of infrastructure and the capacity.
If I told you that I was unaware of that institution, will you believe me?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll be sure it's not true.
No, I'm just telling you.
Wow.
I'm unaware.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, me sitting here.
One day I'll take you there.
No, I'm just telling you. That's why I asked you if I told you I was unaware, will you believe me? I am.
Yeah. Okay, so I agree with you. The cost outlay, financial outlay is there, but the numbers too. That is why I'm saying that the government policy is to increase or raise the appetite of students in these areas, these STEM areas and all that. Okay, so the Smart School project is doing that. The STEM schools that we're establishing, are supposed to do that. To be able to get the numbers at the tertiary level. Now it's 40-60. That is, the benchmark. Even though now I've seen that it is moving to about 38 science, and I think 40 something. The gap is being bridged.
Okay.
It's being bridged at that level. But we can do more to achieve, because we need, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, education to fuel our development. And the government is on course. But I agree, we need more resources in that area. We need to encourage private investors into the area, in the areas of the sciences. When it comes to the health institutions or the products, medicine, and the nurses, that one you can see that, especially the females are even doing well. We got a lot of people there. But the engineering and the other areas are where we are lacking.
Right.
And policy is vigorously being pursued to achieve that.
Right. Okay. So one of the universities, which is one of the young ones, so to speak, which also has a particular mandate, is the Ghana Telecom University College. Okay. So Professor Hinson, who is a lot of people know
Ghana Communications Technology University now. That's changed.
So Professor Hinson, who a lot of people know with the University of Ghana Business School, is actually the Pro Vice Chancellor of
Unimark.
No, of this one, the Ghana. Is that the name has changed?
Ghana Communications
Ghana Communication Technology University, GCTU.
Oh, he's a Pro VC.
Yes, he's a Pro VC. So he sends me this one. He says, Ghana Communication Technology University is also sticking to its ICT mandate.
Yes.
Now, this is how he explains it.
They are doing well there.
Okay. He says, even for the business school, so they also have added a business school. He says, even for the business school, then HR courses will be MSc HR and Informatics, MSc Digital Marketing, MA E-Business and Marketing Strategy, BSc E-Commerce and Marketing. So we are the only public university in Ghana that actually says in our act that we must run information communication technology courses. It says we are sticking to our mandate. We have a faculty of computing and information systems, engineering and a business school. We are sticking to our ICT mandate. And it says we are an ICT university. It says we have master's and PhD courses in AI, Internet of Things, robotics, data science, etc. It says we are not playing artisanal at all. It says in contemporary tech programs, it says come to GCTU. You don't need to go abroad.
Yeah, so before you come in, because we've taken most of your time. So, and the Vice Chancellor, Nana Professor Fuakwa, used to be at the University of Ghana. He has done so well at that university. And the board chair was my board chair at NAB, Professor Kofi Awosabo Asawe, fantastic brain from the University of Cape Coast. So, what I've been recommending is that we need to make sure that these universities have a niche area. Okay? So then we are saying that GCTU, this is an area that is your strength. So develop that area so that every Ghanaian or every individual, regardless of their borders, will come to your institution because you are noted for this particular, program. Then you can have other programs, but you should be noted for something. If you go to K University, what are you noted for? Is it engineering? So the development of the niche areas, as is being done in the technical universities, if you are able to strengthen them, I think one day it will be better. I've not seen a university in recent times. Most of them, when they run other programs, if you are going to Harvard, you are going there because of a particular program. They are noted for this particular program. That is the niche area. That I think that we should avoid our minds.
All right, Roger, let me bring you in a discussion.
Look, I would deal with the STEM issues. You know, as I said in my introductory remarks, President Mahama was at the Wisconsin International University College yesterday for a public lecture, and he answered a question on this STEM issue about the NDC's policy towards it. So I'll deal with it later at the end of my submission. But the report by the Fourth Estate, so first of all, I think that we need to commend the Fourth Estate on how they conduct their investigations. I have followed them. They've done, I've read at least about 3 of their investigative reports. And I see that it is more detailed, extensive, and that's what journalism should be. They take the time to give hearing to anybody or all of the people who may be affected by the publication of their reports. And so if you even check the SML reports, how they even went back to SML to engage the CEO, to engage industry players. And I think that's what they did with this scholarship thing.
Yeah.
They tried as much as possible to reach out to anybody that they saw their names or details published as beneficiaries of this. And that's why, for me, we must not throw away this report, because it's more details. It gives a lot of information. So I'm commending them and also advising that all investigative journalists or investigative reports should, as much as possible, get the other side so that we have a full picture and then we are able to comment on it. And that helps me in analyzing this particular issue. But the monies involved is huge, very huge. Looking at only 2 years period between 2019 and 2020. And they are talking about 500, close to 500 million Ghana cedis in terms of scholarship support that have gone to persons who, in one way or the other, are not supposed to benefit from it. So scholarships have objectives. Why you give financial aid or financial support to students to further their education, whether at the undergraduate level or postgraduate level. If there are very brilliant students who cannot afford to pay their fees, scholarship is supposed to aid such people to acquire knowledge and also have education. And so that is the main reason why when Get Fund was set up, one of the objectives of the fund was to support the Scholarship Secretariat in order to help needy or brilliant but needy students. The other side of scholarship, Doc, is also like what you brought up, is to help students who want to acquire knowledge in specific areas that the country may need, either in the future or even presently. If there are officers of the state who may need knowledge in a specific industry in order to help execute their mandate, scholarship can be used to serve that purpose. And so I want us to look at this whole issue in that perspective. But what is alarming is the response from the persons who are beneficiaries to these scholarships. Persons who were given scholarship, they traveled for the purpose of furthering their education. They got to the countries that host the institutions, and they never step foot in those institutions. So what happens to the grants that are paid to them? What happens to the payment of the fees and all that. It needs further investigation. The people have followed the report. Some of the people, they said they never even, they were not even aware that they were supposed to go to the school or get the scholarship. So all of these brings up the issue of investigation in order to go into it and go to the bottom of it. But if you study the report carefully, you would find that their focus is on scholarships provided by the government of Ghana. There are other scholarships that the Scholarship Secretariat manages. These are scholarships that are offered by countries that have some relationship with Ghana, where students are sent to those countries to study at the cost of those countries. The report did not focus on those areas. So any investigation into this report must cover that one too. During the NDC's time, we gave scholarship to people to study abroad. But you would notice that it was carefully done either to focus on an emerging industry, for example, like the oil and gas, because we had found oil and we needed a lot of Ghanaians to participate in that industry. We had passed laws for local content, getting Ghanaians to participate and all of that. And so during the NDC's time, there was a time that we sent students to University of Aberdeen to learn oil and gas, study oil and gas, and some of them are back home and helping the country. But in situations...
I have a small problem with that one. That even that one, the same argument I was making. Mm-hmm. If you look at the number of people, the number that went, you will see that you also had a top-heavy, or not top-heavy, but majority of people going into the MBAs and the MAs in the oil and gas sector instead of the
STEM areas.
The science and technology areas. Well, so yes, true, but still, I'm just to make the point.
Yes, I get it. I get it.
Even in that, you will see that those who went into the engineering and all those things for that sector, the numbers were small as compared to those who went into the MBA and the, I'm not saying it's not important.
Exactly, I get.
I don't want people to get me wrong. It's important,
but
I always deal with the numbers.
Yes, for me it's debatable.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that Ghana has found lithium, right? So if we want to focus on having the manpower to participate in that industry, it will not be wrong to have scholarship extended to students to study in that area.
Right.
And that's why this report is alarming. Because if you check some of the persons who benefited from or named in the report, there's an instance of an NPP executive in the Eastern region who went for double masters or something, MBA, 2 different MBAs costing more than 50,000 pounds. And I don't know the specific skill set that Ghana needs from persons who study MBA to help in a specific industry. And so what I'm saying is that even if the target should be the needy, but if you are not targeting the needy, you are targeting an emerging industry that will help the country in the long run. Even with that, you can still use the needy to satisfy that target. There were students who were sent to Cuba during the NDC's time to go and study medicine. Today, I think all of them are back, if not most. They are back, they are serving the country as medical doctors. This was at a period where Ghana needed a lot more hands to help in the medical subsector. But I want to focus on Get Fund. in all of this. I want to focus on Get Fund. It appears that there's a misplaced priority in terms of the application of funding for our educational sector. And that is more serious and must be looked at. It is not just about getting regulations in order to regulate scholarships. Yes, it is needed. Once that has been said by the executive director, it means that he admits that there's a problem that must be dealt with. But my issue is that if we have 500 million Ghana cedis, 500 million.
Is it Get Fund or Scholarship Secretariat that you are?
Scholarship Secretariat. Scholarship Secretariat also gets some support.
No, but I thought you said you're focusing on Get Fund.
Yes, of course. Because if Get Fund, yes, Get Fund gives some supplementary support to the Scholarship Secretariat. It's one of the yes, it's one of the objectives of a Get Fund. So if we have this money, forget it, whether it's Get Fund or Scholarship Secretary or the Ministry of Education, is it to distribute to people to study in MBA outside the country, double MBA, people who will not go to even study, people who may not even need the scholarship, when we have pressing issues in our educational sector? That's what for me is alarming, that basic schools have not gotten textbooks for 4 years or so running since the introduction of the new curriculum. That's the truth. They don't have it. Teachers do not even have the learning materials in order to address that challenge. Was it last week I read a report where it was stated that 40% of pupils at the basic level do not have access to desks to sit on and study. Some have to lie on their belly. Others have to carry kitchen stools from their various homes to school in order to study. These are issues, critical issues that must be addressed. The issue of schools under trees, Doc, is coming back. A lot of schools are under trees. I watch one of these bloggers on social media where a teacher at one of the schools, I think in the northeast or Savannah region, is taking care of class 1 to class 6 in one classroom block, where that teacher is rationing how the students come within 24 hours. So these are very challenging things that we need money to address. Such that if we have those monies, we don't spend them on sending people to go and study courses that, for example, may not even give any proper benefit to the country. The e-blocks have been abandoned. NDC started 120 of the e-blocks. Most or majority of them, except those that were either completed or at almost completing stage, that are now functional. The rest have been abandoned. If we have money to invest in these scholarships, why can't we provide the classroom blocks? Why can't we complete the e-blocks so that double track will be a thing of the past? If we have money, we can be able to deal with all of these things. And so for me, it is a matter of lack of attention for educational sector. If this government is taking an action in the educational sector, they are looking at how they will benefit, whether personally or electorally. If it is not about electoral benefit or personal benefit, I don't see the focus and how this NPP government helps the educational sector. They will provide tablets for SHS students because they are going to register to vote in December. And so if they have 1.3 million Ghana cedis, they will better buy tablets and dash to SHS students who will register to vote in the 2024 election because they are seeing an electoral benefit from it. if it is about anything that they are doing, Doc, you can clearly see that they are looking at how they will benefit, dashing of scholarships and all of that. But President Mahama has stated, and he made this very clear yesterday. It came up during the question. One of the students asked about the scholarship issue because of the report. And he reiterated the point that I made, Doc, that if you want to give scholarship to students, you must look at the end benefit to the state. How would the students acquire knowledge and help? Because it is the state that is supporting. And so his focus will be on the strategy of focusing on emerging industries and helping needy students to acquire knowledge in that area in order to come back and help. The second point that he made was also pushing the scholarship secretariat under his proposed new youth development ministry. You know, he has stated that he will decouple the Ministry of Sports from youth, so that we have a Ministry of Youth Development that will take care of all youth development activities. And it's going to be a cross-cutting ministry that anything about youth on education, anything about youth on health, anything about youth in any sector, this youth development ministry will take care of it and ensure that it's focused on the youth. The attention should be there. Secondly, we prioritize it and have a minister in charge of that ministry who will make sure that the scholarships are prioritized for needy students. The second issue that has to do with the STEM. Government currently is establishing some STEM secondary schools. President Mahama thinks that every secondary school must have a STEM center. And so that is our policy in education.
Well, both we can have mutual inclusivity.
Of course. But it should not be that you have students who are going to strictly STEM schools. This is broader, yeah. Exactly. So he's saying that all secondary schools, their science resource centers will be developed into STEM centers and provided with the needed equipment to be able to deal with it. Right. So that when you go to any secondary school, you can focus on STEM, not necessarily attending a STEM school. Right. He also mentioned that the E-blocks had 3 laboratories, and all of these laboratories will be developed also into STEM centers to be able to cater for the STEM issue.
Okay. In a minute, we need to go. Our time is up.
Okay, so Randy, I mean, it is not true that, and I want to put on record that for the textbooks, the primary school students all have textbooks.
Primary school?
Yeah, all of them have the textbooks.
Okay.
Those for junior high school, they are being printed now. I can put this on record. The 1 tablet per student is not a political tool. It is for the development and advancement of the learners in our schools. The phase 1 is being rolled out. By September, I'm told that all the 1.4 million students in our schools are going to have them. So it's not a political tool. So please, and I mean, Get Fund formula is brought before the education committee. I'm on that committee. We examine the formula. It goes to Parliament, the committee of the whole. We look at it, and issues that come up are addressed before it is passed by the House. Okay. So and I mean, basic school, secondary school, the formula deals with them. You know, I mean, I agree that we have issues regarding some of our schools. This current formula is targeting abandoned, school projects. You want to complete as many of them. I mean, the E-blocks, 31, have been completed by the Ronaldo Bamia administration. We came and made 29 completed.
That's not correct.
31
that's
has
not
been
correct.
done.
You may have to provide
the
the
Get
details.
Fund boss, Richard Bodu, met us at Koforudia. The committee, I was there, our park was there, all of us were there, and he put it before us. That was in 2021 or so.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Out
so
of 120.
Okay.
No, you had done 20 now. We came to complete 31. And there are some that are you come to my constituency. If
Dr.
you know
Prempe has
my constituency, you come to Enzima community.
That the NDC,
you know what I mean? Community
was completed by NDC.
Yeah, but we've added the boarding facility to it. You know so.
All right. Okay. So I need to do this before we go.
Today, they are all state property.
Today is the birthday. Today is the birthday of a former Central Regional Minister, who was also former MP from Fantiman.
Hey, shut up.
Yes,
the Honorable Aquinas Taria Kwanzaa. Today is his birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Honorable Aquinas. It's also the 90th birthday of Mrs. Caroline Aquile Indom. You're 90 today, so Auntie Caroline Aquile Indom, 90. So happy birthday to you from all your children, especially Yosi Malego, and the entire family. Happy 90th birthday to you.
Look, I think the funeral of the father of President
Professor Makokwe's birthday is today, don't forget.
Professor
Makokwe, former speaker.
How did I lose that?
How did I miss today?
That? Okay. So, Prof, my uncle, Professor Michael Kwe. Happy 80th birthday. Happy 80th to you, Prof. Happy birthday.
I wish you all the best.
It's also the birthday of my colleague on the GFA school, Alhaji Mahmoud Abu Hassan, who is the RFA chairman for the Northern Region, is also the chairman of the Black Satellites, who just won the All Africa Games male soccer gold medal. So Alhaji Mahmoud Abu Hassan, popularly known as Alhaji Raizo, happy birthday to you. So Aquinas, happy birthday. Mrs. Caroline Aquile Indom, happy 90th birthday. And of course, the Right Honorable Professor Michael Kwe, happy 80th birthday to you. Okay, so after the birthdays, the larger Seche Ni Odote Aje will be laid to rest this weekend. The ceremonies have actually started, but by the close of this week, he will be laid to rest. But the Book of Condolence is open today at the La Mancha Palace from 1 p.m. So the Book of Condolence for the La Jasiche Ni Odote Aje is open, or will open at 1 p.m. Will be open at 1 p.m. at the La Mancha Palace today. And there's also a waykeeping. The waykeeping is this evening. That's also at the La Mancha Palace this week. The waykeeping this evening. And then tomorrow, Friday, will be the filing past and burial service, also at the La Mancha Palace. And then on Sunday, that's the 7th of April, there will be the non-denominational service. That will also be at the La Mancha Palace. That's on Sunday. And the dress code is red and black for Thursday and Friday, and then black and white for Sunday. So Blaja Secheni Odote Ajay goes home this weekend. And so a Book of Condolence from 1 p.m. you could pass by the La Mancha's Palace and sign it as well. Then the waykeeping is this evening, tonight, at the same place, the La Mancha Palace. Then tomorrow, Friday, will be the filing past and burial service. That's also at the La Mancha Palace. And then the non-denominational Thanksgiving service is on Sunday, 7th of April, also at the La Mancha Palace. Dress code Thursday and Friday, that's today and tomorrow, red and black, and then on Sunday, black and white. Okay. This,
look, I love your shirt, man.
Thank you very much.
The fabric is nice.
Super, eh?
Yeah.
Now, there's this... All right. Okay. So there's this text that I received when we were talking about the scholarships. So Mark Kojobo Afusina states, he says that on the scholarship for needy students, my view is that it's not necessary to give a scholarship to a needy student to study abroad. However, providing scholarships to deserving students who cannot afford to study abroad can be beneficial in several ways. Says promoting diversity and inclusion. Scholarships can help students from diverse backgrounds and financial situations access opportunities they might not have otherwise had. Supporting academic excellence. Scholarships can recognize and reward students' academic achievements and potential. And then it goes on to say it also fosters global understanding by enabling students to study abroad. Scholarships can promote cross-cultural exchange and understanding. And it says developing talent. Scholarships can help students acquire skills and knowledge that can benefit their home country or community. So it says offering scholarships to needy students can have a positive impact on individuals and society as a whole. And it says recently at the Public Accounts Committee sittings, it came out that a lady was sponsored to the UK for a course and has refused to return to Ghana. Most of the needy students who travel abroad do not return home. Now, according to the Fourth Estate, over 100 of persons who benefited from the scholarships are still out there after completing, 106 or 104. They won't come. They've not returned. And so that's the situation that we have.
It means they didn't really need the scholarship. They wanted to travel.
They want to travel and
they just wanted to travel.
Yeah.
The greetings to Kojo Chungwafu.
So what went into the determination of they needing to go on the scholarships and all that, and us paying all those monies?
Yes,
only
like
for the people to just get there and decide that.
Like Kojo said, I think it's something we must look at. Some of the people may want to just travel, and that will be an opportunity to travel. And what one thing that he also mentioned, which I think we must look at, is the courses they go to study. Because I know some embassies that if you have admission in their countries, embassies in Ghana, if you have admissions in their countries and you want to seek for visa to travel, they want to see that it's a special area. You must explain why you cannot do such programs here in Ghana. And so we must begin to look at it. And if you want to do an MBA, Doc, I think University of Ghana Business School is one of that's our premier university. It's one of the best business schools that I know. So you can really study in Ghana. You don't need double MBA in UK. I mean, at a cost of more than £57,000.
Okay.
That's
so I almost missed out on this. Today's the birthday, of Dr. Van Ago Tete. And Dr. Van Ago Tete is the husband of our own Bridget Otu. So today is his birthday.
Wow.
Yes.
And we wish him a happy birthday.
Yes.
A happy one.
So Dr. Van Ago Tete, happy birthday.
These days, the way the economy is.
To you.
So
I hope that
we've been looking for birthday parties to
I hope
attend.
Bridget will be late for work today.
So, Doc, if there's a birthday party, they should at least extend invitation.
Okay. Bridget asked me to play a song, but I'm not too sure I'll be able to play that song.
Right.
There's a line in the song. I'm not too comfortable with it.
Play for her.
Which song is what's the title of it?
I've heard it, but there's a line that says Star BIB or something.
But it could be
by who?
Star BIB, one of the players. I'm not too comfortable. You play that song at home.
I didn't get it initially.
So thanks just for joining me. We couldn't look at issues of the energy sector. The energy sector, the chickens are coming home to roost.
Yeah.
The facts.
The facts
about why we are having
if it's transformers, why is it we should stop?
No, it's not only for there are also maintenance issues.
Oh yeah, but maintenance issues.
But why is the president?
But maintenance issues are always with us.
Why is the president saying we should stop the exportation of power if it is transformers? What has transformers got to do with
multiple issues?
My point is that maintenance issues are a given.
They are given, but now it's about
and you see, when it is maintenance, and it is not, let's say, a breakdown.
Yes.
Maintenance are predetermined.
Yes.
And the managers of the sector know when each plant is due for maintenance.
Granted, you see, there are myriad of issues. That we are going to. Apart from the maintenance, the maintenance alone.
But please stay here.
With maintenance,
please calm down. I want to show you something.
Even with maintenance, what happened to PDS? PDS could have helped us a lot in maintaining some of our
Doc, I want to show
plants
you
and transmission lines.
Doc, I want to
what
show
happened
you,
to PDS?
Doc, I want to show you something, and it has to do with your issue about maintenance.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the table that deals with, you look at
the one on the screen.
What you have now. You see, those that do not have. When you see the generation, you see here, the generation. Now, if you look at, there's a table that deals with what must be. What will not be available, what must be shared. If you look at what must be shared as against what we are unable to provide on the basis of gas or fuel, you would realize that if we are able to provide the fuel, irrespective of the maintenance schedule, we should be fine.
We should be fine,
yes. Randy, I'm not disputing, but I'm saying that maintenance is
because of the installed generation.
Because see, Randy, now.
No, I don't doubt that too. I don't doubt that. Yes.
Has moved from about 3,200 kilowatts to about 3,600. So
yes.
It has increased. You know what I mean?
No, I don't doubt that. What I'm telling you is that as for maintenance, it is something that we will live.
We will do.
Yes. As for we do it, and we have a schedule of the maintenance. All I'm saying is that is why sometimes when people even speak about excess power and all that, we must be careful how we speak about it. But I'm saying that irrespective of what we are not going to get as a result of maintenance, which is predetermined.
And if you
look at what we are not getting as a result of the lack of supply of fuel, if we had the fuel and that megawatt was on board, we won't have the situation.
Randy, that's a fair point, but I'm also saying that
you have mismanaged the sector. You don't have money to buy fuel.
For the maintenance, the 790 megawatts plus the 3,200. 200, we will still go beyond.
What's the guarantee that those that are on
look at one side?
No, I'm just asking. No, I'm just asking a question. No, you don't get me. Yeah. I'm just saying that if you have plants that are available, but we are unable to power them because we can't get fuel, we can't buy fuel from them. Now, those that are going on, those that are on maintenance. Quite a number of them are also powered by fuel.
Yes.
So if you cannot find fuel to power the smaller, what's the guarantee
that when they come back on
stream, those ones you'll be able to find the fuel to power them?
So, but Randy,
you don't have money to buy breakfast, but you say that you can buy breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yes.
No.
How is that possible?
No, I don't have money to buy breakfast.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that I can buy breakfast, lunch, dinner. That is not the issue. I don't have money to buy breakfast now,
that the sector has been mismanaged and that there are no funds to buy fuel to power the plants.
No, we have issues.
When you came, you said you had enough. When Mahama has signed contract that you were even cancelling some of the contracts.
The energy sector for 7 years plus. We have challenges.
Do you know how you have managed
it? Randy, you have mismanaged it.
Do you know how you have managed it? Do you know how you have managed it? Do you know how you have managed it? You have taken this oil and gas and all those things and the power from those plants for the 7 years, leaving a debt of over 1.5 billion.
Yes, you can
now that some of them you have to pay cash for the oil. They are not prepared to give you a
question. Okay, so at least I think for the past 5 days or 6 days, I mean the situation is improved.
No.
Not in my area.
By my area.
I'm saying not in my area.
Maybe they are targeting. They are targeting areas.
I live where I live. That's why I came earlier.
I'm saying not in my area.
You don't even know where I live.
The day before yesterday,
I know where you live.
You know where I live.
The day before yesterday.
I'm not doubting what you say about where you live.
Yeah.
But
I'm saying that the issues are there, that we are addressing them. But I'm saying that it is a bit improved as compared to about 2-3 weeks ago. That's the point I'm making.
You have no reason to take Ghana back into doomsday. NPP has no reason. You can explain this. We solved the financial problem. You had ESLA. You used it. We solved the financial problem. Who told you?
Okay, gold prices have gone up. Let me speak about something positive.
The NDC solved doomsday.
I'm not having a conversation with a
financial problem.
Then Jama was in part of Fufona. What in Rahurua, a woman Yinkaya Srono Eddie.
A sham. A mountain sound shisho. And a pu a grown sweet. A yink kayan kasa.
Oh, I should be.
The Jamal washing powder for furnace sachets I can see in Numaba. A yink kayan kasa.
For Jamal washing powder, but 30 can you mount the Bejawari?
New Jamal washing powder. A mania meniti, Nemusi sham, Wokafu a or ma wonta dienity. FD aje a dreading crato yatumu.
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. And it's time to deal with the extractive sector and specifically the Minerals Commission. And the CEO is here. These days he's always in a good mood. Because when it monitors all those sites, Bloomberg and all those places.
Every second.
Yes, he sees that the gold prices keep shooting up and shooting up and shooting up and shooting up. So where are we currently on gold price?
Oh, around the morning. And good morning to your listeners and viewers. I didn't know people watch us across the globe.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday, it topped 2,300.
US dollars?
Yes.
Per ounce?
Yes.
Hey! What were your projections for the year on the average?
Oh, we want to be conservative, so we're looking at 2,000.
Wow.
1,900, 2,000. Well, last year, the average price was between 1,900, 1,945. Okay? So that's how the quarter ended. Yes. Our projections in terms of gold production, 4.5 million. So do an average of 2,000. That's about
9.
So we're looking at between 9 and if prices stay like this, we're looking at between 9 and 10 billion. Dollars.
Okay. So this should fairly land us where we want to go today. And I explained that. Now, cocoa is top 10,000. And there are people who've raised this issue for years, and that includes me. We are not going to discuss cocoa, but it's related and I establish it soon. That if you look at, say, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, producing close to 70% of the world's cocoa.
Or let's say at least half.
Yes. What Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire put together get from cocoa is a maximum of $4 to $5 billion a year. Yet, that tiny country, Belgium, that does not produce a pod of cocoa, makes about 10 billion from value addition. So chocolate and others, they make 10 billion. Tiny country, Belgium. I'm sure that they perhaps have never seen a fertilizer before. But that's what happens. And so people have raised the issue. You are producing 60 to 70% of the world's cocoa, yet what you make from it. And so that's where the issue of value addition comes in. And even with the little that Ghana was making, about 2 or 3 years ago, we were making close to $400 million from just value addition of a little that we do, about $400 million, which was about a third of the highest that we make from all the sales we make as far as the raw cocoa is concerned. So now the linkage. You've just told us about some 9 to 10 billion if the prices are to remain where they are and we're using an average of 2,000. So people then raise the issue. We are still thinking about our mineral resources in the raw state. We are mining the gold and we are talking about what we are getting from them. Now, people speak about value addition. That's the way to go, value addition. There are countries that don't produce gold at all, but on the basis of value addition, they are making a lot more than those of us who are endowed with this. And that the way to go is value addition, is value addition, is value addition. And so we can have a lot more mines. It can provide employment. We can have local content and make all those monies. But if there were value addition, we perhaps could be making 5 times, 6 times, 7 times what we are making. And we've tarried for so long. Am I making sense?
More than sense.
Okay.
Randy, sometime last year, when we started this program, for me, having looked at the mining policies within the last 20 years, we have come to realize that there are some 6 critical areas as a nation that we need to change. Some, I will talk about them. Some we've started, just like with the way we spent the whole of March on local content and local participation. We'll do so for value addition in the course of April. I hinted 6 areas.
Yes.
The first one was local content and local participation. We've discussed that severally.
Deepening that.
Yes, deepening that and then enhancing it. We ended the discussion sometime last week. The second one is small-scale mining, which we'll come back to it.
Right.
An activity that I said takes place now in about 12, 13 regions, and you have about 3 million directly and indirectly involved. It's also a key area we cannot ignore. Receipts are over $2 billion every year.
Right.
I think I've told you that small scale now eclipses cocoa, both in terms of receipts and in terms of jobs. There are more people doing small scale mining than farming cocoa. There are more, official receipts for small scale gold, officially, it's more than. So even if you put large scale aside, small scale is enough to tackle cocoa. So local content and local participation, small scale mining. Then some time ago, I also told you about the fact that the bulk of the billions of dollars that are used in building the mine, that are poured into exploration, comes from stock exchanges, equity firms, and they are raised basically from outside. They go back. Okay? So we are kind of bleeding. So that means the time has now come for us to do a lot about how to raise financing locally, how to raise money to finance money projects locally. So that's the third one. Now the fourth one also has to do with increasing Ghanaian participation, if you like, state and Ghanaian participation. I think the time has now come for Ghanaians also now to own mines. We need to build champions. So that is that on that one. Then sometimes you need to manage your shocks. So rather than relying on only the traditional four, like the likes of gold, manganese, diamonds, and bauxite, we also need to look at diversifying our mineral resource base. So that's the fifth one. Now the last one, which you started a summary with, or the introduction, is the value addition bit. Value addition. Sometimes also referred to as beneficiation. So I think we can start the discussion now on this. So for me, if we need to move forward as a nation, these are the 6 areas we need to tackle. It doesn't matter who is in power. Okay? We have to deal with small scale. Local content we are doing very well, but we need to still do more. I've talked about diversifying our resource base. We need to move beyond just gold, manganese, bauxite, and diamonds. Fortunately, we now are seeing the likes of lithium, graphite, and coal. We need to start thinking of how to raise money here. I'll give you examples. It's happening now. And then, of course, we need to also add value to our minerals. Randy, I'll tell you a very sad story. There is a particular article you need to read. It's just about 2-3 pages. It was written by one of our finest mining lawyers in this country, Mr. Fuichi Kata.
Yes.
It says the vicissitudes of mining policies in Ghana. You see, somewhere along the line, in the colonial period, the mines were owned by the colonial powers, if you like, British and co. Then, the Champon era, commanding heights of the economy. So in the 70s, we took over. And then we ran them down. So by late 80s, early 80s, late 70s and early 80s, many of the mines have collapsed. So then enter Kwesi Botwe Economic Recovery Program, IMF. We sold all of them, including Ghana Manganese, because then we used to have the Ghana National Manganese Corporation that was state-run. And then that's what happened. Then when IMF and World Bank came in, to help us change our mining policy, the primary focus, so sometimes a little bit of history is important. The primary focus then was that create the enabling environment for investors to come in. So at that stage, throughout the late 80s, throughout the 90s, and even all the way to 2000, our policies have always been geared towards how we attract foreign investments. So the issue of value addition and all those things, we didn't even take them seriously. It is now that we are doing it. You are right. If we don't do anything about value addition, we won't get there. Because the value you get from smelting or processing or refining a mineral is several times higher than taking it raw. So what is the state of play? What is the government policy now? A lot of measures have been put in place to ensure that we do value addition. some of the things we need to do go beyond just the mining ministry or minerals commission. We need to talk to other stakeholders. But I'll tell you how things are changing now. So let me start with Ghana manganese. So the first shipment of manganese in Ghana started in 1916. 1916.
16.
Yes. So that is 107 years, right? 1916. We are now in 2024. 24. So 180 years.
Yes.
So to quote you, or to just reiterate what you said, we've been shipping manganese in a raw form for 108 years.
Yes.
180 years. Okay? Things have changed now. So, because of the new policies of government, okay? Now, we've worked with a company. They submitted a feasibility. We've reviewed it. Now, it has been agreed that they will build a refinery. So, in about 3-4 months, construction will start. So right now, because right now the manganese we have is low grade, but once the refining starts, it will be upgraded from about 27% to about 40%. Manganese is essentially used in making steel. Then they're also going to produce what is important and what everybody wants to hear, the battery grade manganese.
What's that?
You know, manganese is a core component of the battery. That is used in making electric vehicles. The battery has two key areas. You have the cathode and the anode. The anode is essentially graphite, overwhelmingly graphite. Then the cathode is made up of 4 minerals there: manganese, cobalt, lithium. Okay.
So I was going to ask you where lithium comes in.
Yeah, so it's lithium, manganese, cobalt, and nickel in a certain mix, 16% here, 17% here. That's why sometimes when people say, oh, wait, you're just joking, because with science and technology, they can increase some of them. So if you take a typical battery, okay, you see nickel in there, you see manganese, you see cobalt, you see what do you call it, lithium, and then you see graphite. A lot of them we have. So that is good news. So around 100 years, manganese was going out raw. Now, this refinery which is going to be built, they will start in the middle of the year. It's going to take about 24 months.
2 years.
Yes. But they are in phases, so no problem. It will create an additional 360 jobs, mainly technicians. And then that is why when we're discussing the skills development, I was telling the public that it is high time we took chemical engineering and metallurgical engineering seriously, because these are the people they will need in a typical refinery. And most of our metallurgical engineers and chemical engineers tend to work in the gold industry as either lab metallurgists or plant metallurgists. Okay, so that is good news. So the manganese one is, we can take off on that. So they're going to produce manganese alloy, which will be used in steel. They're going to produce battery grade mineral, which will be used in battery. It's really a shame that we can do this to ourselves, that it has taken us at least 100 years to now get this done. And so for me, this is a game changer. So let's give ourselves, within the next 2 years, we will start refining manganese in Ghana. So we can tick off on that. Again, if you remember very well, one of the things I will need to credit the president for is the passage of the GIADEC and the GIZEC law. So if you take bauxite like this, there have been great efforts to actually, smelt and refine. Currently, there's one mine at Awaso, which is Ghana bauxite, 1941. Again, how many years? That's about 84, raw.
But we did this GIADEC thing about 2018.
Yes, but yes. Hang on. Randy, he don't just get up. It has taken Ghana manganese almost over a year for us to come this far. Now, in the case of bauxite, it's a different ball game altogether. You will need an associated infrastructure. Okay? So, the deals have been concluded for Inani. Do you understand that? So, mining the bauxite belt is one. You will need transportation. Okay? You will need your railways to transport them. You need to build a refinery to refine the bauxite into alumina. And then fortunately we have a smelter here which needs to be upgraded. But is it not shameful that we were exporting raw bauxite all these years in the 60s, and then we import processed bauxite, which is alumina for our smelter. I mean, did you go or did you come? So that is also taking shape. Do you understand that? So almost all the new bauxite deals that are being signed include the refinery bills. So it requires a lot of power and energy. So we have to take our time. If you couldn't do it in 100 years, why do you want to do it overnight? So the establishment of GIADEC is to see to it that bauxite is refined or is, processed, or we add value to them. So a lot of work is going on in the area of bauxite. I'll arrange with the CEO of GIADEC to come here and discuss that in more detail. But I know because I serve on the board as an institutional rep. So we've seen government policies now changing in the area of manganese. We've seen it changing in the area of bauxite. Currently, there are some good refineries. There's one in the Diamond House, and then there's one also at airports. They are not. We are trying to, seek certification for them internationally, so that when the good leaves here, it will be comparable to whatever will come out of Switzerland or Rand refinery. So that's also in progress. So by far, these are some of the measures that are being put in place. So that of manganese, we can tick off on that. Bauxite, more work is required, but you can see we are moving very well. Gold, there's a refinery at Diamond House, owned by some Ghanaians and some Indian group. And then there's also one.
We have a gold refinery here.
Yes, but they will need certification. Okay? So they are working with Rand Refining and other, the LBMA certification, because we want a situation where when you take the gold there, it will be recognized.
What about quantities? How well are they doing in terms of volumes?
In terms of
volumes,
production?
Yes, the gold refinery.
Yes, but they've not started to produce for the international market yet.
Okay.
Yes, we will need to get all those certifications done. Maybe I need to arrange
How long have they been around?
The one in airport has been around for a while. They do some coins and some bars and co.
Okay.
So maybe next week I can arrange.
Is there one around the airport?
Yes. There's one around the airport, Gold Coast.
Okay.
And then there's also one at Diamond House. So we government is working hard to make sure that these ones are certified. So you are right. The refinery is everything. If we joke with them, we won't get anywhere. Even if all the mines are owned by Ghanaians. Are you listening? If all the gold mines and even the manganese mines, all the bauxite mines are owned by Ghanaians, and you still export them raw, you're still losing. So it's like this cocoa argument you are talking about. I think over the weekend when you were talking to Tepe, I was sending you assets from, I was just watching Sky TV, and then they were talking about how expensive chocolate has become across the world because of the situation in Ghana. So that is it. These things, you don't rush them. I always try to quote the former Chief Justice, he's late, is it Justice Akwa, who said, when people keep saying, our justice system is slow, it takes decades to get justice, particularly when it comes to criminal matters. I think he, in particular, once remarked that justice, of course, the slogan is justice delayed is justice denied, right? But I think he said justice rushed is justice buried. Because when you force something, you rush it, you miss the key, evidence that you need to put across for the judge to give you, just for you to sustain some conviction. So I am proud that at least manganese, we are there now. 108 years raw. Today
we are getting there.
Yeah, we've gotten there. Not that we're getting there. You want to see the manganese alloy being produced, the manganese silicon alloy being produced. We've done everything. We work on the feasibility with them.
I'm just minded by experience. The Ghanaian experience, where people can even talk to you about some of the plans that the late President Nkrumah had in terms of value addition.
Yes.
And all the things that were started.
There was a gold refining at UMax.
And all the things that were started. The fact that, we could not
complete them or we stop them.
And all that, yes. So sometimes in our country, when we speak about some of those things, like you learnt on the streets of Newtown when you were growing up, Gafrili Gadochi.
Yeah, but we've changed. We've made a U-turn. Now there are football academies to train people. You are seriously into sports, so you know that. the Bukom I knew when I was young is not the same Bukom we have now. Now you have something that, I mean, it's decent. People can train there and then produce more stars. So that is the issue. That you gain several times more if you value add, or the other term that is also used, beneficiation, than you take it out raw.
So let's step back a bit. Do we have a policy on value addition?
Yes. Okay. We have a 2014 mining policy.
2014
mining policy.
Okay.
10 years now. The review have started.
Okay.
And we're going to start a stakeholder engagement on a new policy.
Okay.
If you look at the policy, typically a policy you should change it every 5 years. But then it says that if you look at our mining policy, I'll share a copy with you both in soft and I'll bring a hard copy. It says that unless something dramatic happens, it's still good to go. That's why we held on for this, if you like, 10 years. It's exactly 10 years now of the 2014 policy. But 4 things have happened.
Okay.
1, government has introduced new policies. Like, for example, government aim to ensure that these things don't go out raw. Okay? 2, there are emerging trends. For example, these, electric vehicles and this climate change now, which has changed the way mining should be done, which has made some minerals that we did not take seriously now relevant. So you need to change your policy to capture that. Then, of course, technology has also changed. And then, as I said, let me step back a little bit. An area that we have joked with. If we really want a lot of value to be retained here, it's small-scale mining. So, as I said, 89...
What's the correlation?
Yeah, because small-scale mining was formalized or was allowed lawfully in 1989. And that time it was taking place in just 5 regions. Ashanti, Eastern, Central, Western, and then Upper East. So quickly we created offices here to start the regularization. Normally when things like this, when you introduce things, you normally start by what? Legalizing them, putting in place. But I think at that time, the first CEO, the Venerable Kofi Ansa, is still alive. And then Mr. E, who is now the advisor to the minister, for all these, because when I was a young lawyer there, we kept telling governments after governments that we need to put money in geological investigation. Okay? Because you see, Randy, we knew, if you look at the geology of Ghana, it is not today that we are getting to know that, we have a lot of gold in Savannah, Upper East, Upper West, Northern region, and all those things. I mean, the geologists have known all these things. But then there were some biases. 1, they will tell you, the deposits in the south, if you look at the famous Ashanti Belt, Tertiary Belt, and Co., they are big enough, so don't worry yourself about the north. Number 2, they thought the deposits there were not that big. Okay? And then, of course, the difference between the north and the south in terms of infrastructure. So the fact that the place is not well developed, the deposits there were not perhaps as good as those in the south, and then the south have enough deposits where the things are blinding us. Then, Randy, do you know what has changed the face of mining in Ghana? Technology. So today, deposits, even in the south, deposits that were considered very low grade or even nothing there, you cannot mine them. Now they are able to extract them. And now with technology, we're beginning to see very big mines that are coming up in the north now. So we sat down as a nation for 30 years, at least 30 years. We did not. You see, the large scale one, it's private sector that will do it, or if you like, geological survey. But small scale, there's nothing like geological investigation. So the state must do it. The state will have to do it. So you go and ask for money, then they will tell you. I'm talking about 30 years, 3 decades of inaction. Then they say, we got to deal with Guinea worm. We got to build schools. We got to build railways. And then what the leaders then were not understanding was the fact that they were asking you, okay, so when we give you this money, will you produce a good? We say, 5% chance of success. Then that put them off. Then all of a sudden, technology has made it possible to mine gold everywhere. So from 5 regions, you are not talking about 12, 13 regions. And we are basically doing it. So, Randy, if you ask me, for me, last year the official receipt was about $2.23 billion. I mean, twice that or more was smuggled. And that's a fact. I mean, we shouldn't deceive ourselves that cocoa is smuggled across the borders. It's the same for small-scale gold. You understand? Now you have about 50 to 100,000 people that were involved 30 years ago. Now you're talking about 3 million people. And it's livelihood. Randy, you cannot go and discuss anything in Takwa other than mining. You can't go and discuss anything in Dunkwa other than mining. Same in Diaso, same in Prestia. Now, if you go to Savannah region, a very prospective area for gold now, if you like call it the new gold rush, you go to a place like Dakupe, Tinga, Bole, those areas, they now don't understand anything apart from mining. The beauty about the Savannah situation is that many of their gold deposits are underground. So environmentally, that is manageable. So that's the situation we find ourselves. So, I've made this clear in every forum or any time I get opportunity to talk. Anybody who starts talking about small-scale mining, and I don't see geological investigation of these over 30,000 square kilometers blockade areas as your number one point, it means that you don't understand the problem. And for that matter, you don't have the solution. Okay? At least every year, we need about $10 million to be set aside for geological investigation for the small-scale mining and also for some of these new minerals. Okay? Because small-scale mining, the money will stay here. Now it's becoming sophisticated. The shovels and those things that you see 30, 40 years ago, it's not the small-scale mining we are talking about today. Don't let us also deceive ourselves. When you talk about small-scale mining, people think that they should use pickaxes and no. I mean, there are lawful small-scale mining operations being conducted underground. It's not pickaxe matter. Okay? You go to Dakupe, you go to Tinga, they are doing underground mining, small-scale. You go to a place like RMG in Takwa, they have the license and they have 5,000 people working there underground. So what is this pickup thing that you hear civil society people talking about and say, they are supposed to be using pickups and co? It means that people don't even understand the issues. So fortunately, all these things are changing now. So for me, we will need to put in a lot of resources in small scale. That is happening. But I want to see a lot of geological investigation. What's the state of play we started? So if you go to Dunkwa area, part of Ashanti, government has released money now. So the exploration is being conducted. But of course, we will need to have a dedicated budget to do a lot of geological investigation. So that is the issue.
So
that's the issue.
So when are we having this review of the policy? Because I keep going back to policy because...
So let me explain that.
Yes.
So as we speak, we have released the document to civil society.
Which document?
The draft review policy. We've completed it.
Okay, so you have prepared the draft.
We finished, if you look at one of the functions of the Minerals Commission, it says formulate and recommend policies to government. So that we've done, the minister has okayed it. It says go out there and engage people. And so first week in May, we'll have our first 2-3 day sessions with all the civil society groups. We'll engage industry, we'll talk to the chiefs, we'll talk to other institutions that matter or whose activities have a relation with mining, like EPA, like water resources. We'll talk to everybody. So within the next 3 or so months, we hope to complete the review and then submit the comments to the minister. And after that, we'll have a new policy. So surely we'll have a new policy. One other issue to address in the policy is these green minerals.
Okay.
Because no country has a standalone policy for green minerals. You take UK, you take US, you take Australia and all these countries, what they have is a strategy. So we are going to do two things. Have a section within the bigger mining policy that addresses green minerals, and then now a strategy. But for now, sometimes what people also don't understand is that when they say a policy, it doesn't necessarily mean a single document.
Yes.
You can have policy directions from statements by the minister, speeches, cabinet directives, etc. So the cabinet approved one, that's the one that we are working with, pending the formal adoption of the 2014 policy. Then we'll now develop a strategy. Sometimes you talk to people or critics who say, wait, you finish that before you do it. I don't accept that because UK had...
The world is not waiting.
No, yes, and then Australia had a strategy last year, for lithium, if you like critical minerals. UK last year, many of them had it between 2002, 2003. So this argument that will finish your policies before you start exploitation is neither here nor there. Australia has been producing lithium for all these years. half of the world's lithium. They got a strategy just last year. So what is this argument that finish your policy, develop your strategy before you start producing? At least you know the building blocks. So let us put that in place. So Randy, small scale. We will revisit that. Okay. But value addition, if you ask me, it's also a game changer. Okay. We'll talk more about that, and then when we finish that, maybe we shall start looking at what are the various mechanisms that we can raise finance locally. A few examples before we wrap up. I am aware, for instance, that almost close to about $100 million, about $180 million was raised by a particular mining company locally. Okay? So the MIF vehicle is one way by which we can have state and Ghanaian participation. They have investment in Atlantic Lithium. They have investment in Asante Gold. They are planning more investment in other areas. Okay? And very soon we will see these Atlantic Lithium people on the stock exchange. Now, the report on FESPA is ready. You know, during the debate on the lithium agreement, there was this requirement that 2 reports must be generated. One on the kaolin and FESPA, and then the one on the chemical plant. We've seen the FESPA one. It's been submitted. They did a presentation. It's fantastic. And the companies here can take it locally. It's high grade, and it's quite interesting.
For the benefit of those who do not know, what's FESPA?
Oh, FESPA is, if you like, a mineral that is used in making ceramics.
Okay.
So if you go to, there's a company called Twyford.
Yes.
It's in Western region.
Yes.
They have a gas pipeline within their company.
Yes.
You see, so again, the issue of energy is also important. And their annual turnover is $300 million. They use 5 million. So it's not as if value addition is not happening. It is there, but it's negligible.
Is there a link between FESPA and lithium?
Yes. Yes. So, I mean, they all occur together in the same ore body.
That's what I wanted to find out.
Yes. And so the company uses 5 minerals. They use limestone, which they get from the artisanal mines, particularly those around the Krobo area. They use tack. They use clay.
What's tack?
It's a type of clay, whatever.
And it's found where?
It's found all over Ghana.
Okay.
Then there's clay. And then there's, I've mentioned clay, tack, limestone, kaolin, and FESPA.
Okay.
FESPA, they dig it around Central region, Western
So there's
region.
a likelihood that anywhere you find lithium, there could be FESPA?
Yes. Okay. Or as a byproduct. So, for example, silver comes as a byproduct when you are processing gold. You can get also copper. So gold, copper can occur together. There's a huge project in Madagascar called the Ambatovi project. It's nickel, cobalt, about $10 billion worth of investment. Or even in refining copper, you can get molybdenum. So those things occur together. They call them co-minerals. So the Twyford one is, if you ask me, is the best example of a successful value addition to minerals in Ghana.
Okay.
Turnover is about $300 million. They use 5 minerals: kaolin, clay, tack, limestone, and FESPA. So they are also saying they'll be taking the FESPA that will be coming from Ewoya, and they produce ceramics from the local market. They export to Guinea, Peru. Now here they export to US duty-free. Okay, so this is a Chinese company that is set up in. There are about 5 ceramics companies in Ghana here owned by the Chinese. So that is a typical example
they're
of
all
value.
owned by Chinese.
Yeah, they're all owned by Chinese. But sometimes, Randy, yes, we will have to push the ownership thing, but then you are better off they setting up here, employing, adding value, paying taxes, than you taking it as raw. Yes, but a forum like this, a platform like this, provides us an opportunity to tell people the opportunities out there for people to invest. So they have taken the opportunity, and they've invested so much, and they get all these minerals. For now, interestingly, all these 5 minerals that they use in producing those ceramics, they get them from small scale. You see, and I want you to take this from me or hear this from me. Some of the finest clay deposits in Ghana that are good for these ceramics are in Volta region.
Volta region?
Yes.
Not Oti?
No, not Oti, Volta region.
Which part of Volta?
Oh, you go to the Tongue area and even Amfuega and all those places. The clay there is super. it's even good for clinker.
Okay.
So a company is setting up to mine it. Currently they import, they import and bag cement here. So they've done a lot of studies. The clinker in that part of, if you like, north and south of there, it's so good, and that will reduce the quantity of clinker.
Have you found something around the Pando?
Pando? There's a town called Anfuega. It's within that vicinity. Yeah, they have a lot of clay deposits.
I like the paramount chief a lot. He's a lawyer.
Anfuega. Yes, quite a very senior lawyer. So that is it. There are a lot of industrial mineral deposits in Volta region. So geological survey is doing a lot of work there. But the clay,
I want to find out a lot too about Pando.
Yes, the clay. Oh, I know because you own Pando House of Land. But the clay deposit in the town area is so good to make clinker because you see
the quality.
Yes, if you have your currency falling, you see, so it means that and you are importing clinker to add to your cement here. It means that you are spending more. As your currency falls. So they did a study and they realized that the type of clay there, it's so good, and they can use it to reduce how much clinker they export. There's so much in this country. So that is also one of the policies I highlighted. Diversify. So let me indicate the 6 key areas.
Right.
We will need to deepen and enhance local participation and local content. That we've done very well. I mean, I took you through the 10 years reforms.
Yes.
We've done so much. We've been very successful. We can do more. Small scale, I've talked about it. We'll revisit it another time. So that's number 2. An area that we've not done well, which now the focus is shifting towards and is growing. I've just mentioned one company raising $180 million locally. It's how to raise money to finance mining operations locally than the traditional or conventional that we know, stock exchanges, equity and private individuals from outside. So that takes us to number 3. Then we are now diversifying our mineral resource base. Okay, yes, we will still mine a lot of bauxite, manganese, gold, and coal for decades. But now we're looking at lithium, we're looking at graphite, we're looking at nickel. We're also looking at the so-called industrial minerals. Some call them developmental minerals. I've mentioned some already. And then we are looking at value addition. We need to add value to our minerals. It's also very, very important. So these are the areas that I think we should focus on. Okay? So local content, diversification of our mineral resource base, raising finance locally. You can go to a stock exchange or equity firms, and then you do value addition, you do small scale.
Okay. So I got this text message. It says, "Good morning, Dr. Randy. I wanted to come and see you next week, but I want you to ask the Mineral Commission boss for me. My daughter wanted to become a mining engineer, but unfortunately she couldn't get a chance. Currently she is pursuing a diploma in public administration at the University of Ghana, Legon. Please, can she switch into doing a degree in her dream course as in engineering?"
Well, I don't know whether she took science
at the secondary level.
At the secondary school. I would like to get his number. If she took science at the secondary school, then why waste your time? Why waste your time and do this diploma in public administration at Gimpa where she will never get any job?
When she can go to one of the technical
So she should just go to Polytechnic and do HND mechanical.
Is that technical university?
Yes, HND mechanical. Because I believe she has finished high school.
Yes.
So she can do HND mechanical or HND, civil engineering. You understand that? And then it's quite easy to enter the system. Then later on she can pursue a master's degree in mining engineering.
Right.
Yes, that is it. If she read science at O level, I'll advise her she's just wasting her time. Diploma in public administration at Gimpa, she's wasting her time.
All right, at Lagos. Anyway, if it sits well with you,
yes,
I'd like us to, for next week and maybe the week after, if we can look at the 2014 policy, the highlights of it, and then
the changes,
the draft. That's because you've given it to CSO already, so we can discuss it. We're also part of CSO.
Yes.
And then we can look at the recommendations as a result of what has happened the last 10 years, and also looking into the future.
We will do so.
Yes. If it sits well.
Yes, because then it means that discussing it on television and radio station is also part of the stakeholder engagement.
Yes.
Because not everybody will be able to attend our forums.
Yes.
So as they listen to us, they can also send us memoranda. We'll put it also out there in the papers, and then put it on our website and ask people to send us a memoranda.
Right.
So as people listen to us, they will now understand the rationale for some of the points.
Right.
So we can start the discussion of the review of the draft mining policy sometime next week.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So thank you very much, Mr. Martin.
But it's a holiday.
Next week Thursday is a holiday. We can still do it.
Yeah, I leave that to you.
Yes, we'll talk about that.
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk
thank you. And then you owe me a visit to the mines.
Yes.
And then these refineries I want us to see.
Right.
Sometimes it's important we let people see the kind of things we are talking about here. So let me find out when you are free. Yeah. I'll take you to an underground mine.
Okay.
And then we'll have a whole video.
We can put a team together here.
And then we'll go and look at it. But I want you to be there.
No, I'll be there.
And then I'll also take you to some of the small scale operations underground.
Okay.
The ones that are properly.
I'll be there. I'll tell you a trick that Sir Sam Jonah played on us when he took us the underground. So when they saw everything, then he took us up. And then they had this gold bar, in like a glass.
Yes.
And then he says that, the board of Ashantis decided that Anglo Gold then has decided that to each of us will have
one bar.
One bar, but the catch is that you have to carry your own thing along. That is when I realized that it was no joke. Nobody could carry it.
You cannot carry it.
And therefore, none of us could get it. That's how I lost out on becoming a millionaire 25 years ago.
Okay.
Anyway, so thanks for joining me. We hope to have you again next week. Thanks for being a part of the show. Up next, Metro Sports.